know I'm in your head. I know I'm in your head. I know I'm in your head. But she's laying in your bed. I bet you wish I was there instead. Hey.
Who told you? Who told you? Who told you? Who told you? You are God design, 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 God design.
Never blend in like camouflage. Know your whole life's in the hand of God. Always kept it real, couldn't stand the fraud. We playing in different fields, I never ran alone. First things first, let me break the news. I don't really even got a name to prove. I'ma win the game, I ain't came to lose. Cause me and God tight like bathing suits. Afraid of who? Fear ain't part of my composure. And this right here is for the culture. You watching innovation at its finest. We been fly, swag, never on pilot. Hold up, I don't think they follow. My dad is an artist, I feel like Pablo. And if that's the case, I'm a walking Picasso. Throw me on the track and I'ma ride like a fossil. Who told you?
Who told you?
I mean, who told you can't do it?
Who told you?
Who told you you're not fly enough?
Who told you? You are God design, 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 God design. I know girls who quit to throw on the makeup. A couple of them overcoming the breakup. Never settle in life for the fake love, cause you gon' pay a pretty price from the pay stub. I know a couple dudes looking for approval, doing anything mundane and usual. Look, homie, your self-worth is crucial. You sowing seeds, you might as well make them fruitful. I'ma keep it truthful, tell you what I mean. True religion is literal, God in your genes. I always felt different and odd as I seen. I realized I'm gifted and God is the king. Created many things, put the stars in their place. Then he turned around and he put me in a race. All glory to God, now I swim in the grace. I see his fingerprints in the winds and the waves. I don't know how he think of designs like Tinker, Hatfield, at will. Create things only as mouth spills. Word to many, yo, I had to borrow that line. I swallow my pride, I'm humbly the false design. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who told you? Who told you? Who told you? Who told you? You are God design, 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 God design.
Creation doesn't exist without a creator. There is no design without a designer. And the God we served designed you. Designed
God design you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're in for an incredible night. Oh, we're taking it up a notch. I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. Wes and Mike TZ coming all strong, straight into the end zone. Hey, be sure you stick around because we're only getting warmed up.
I kept the faith, keeping the faith. I know you got it. Yeah, out of my way, give me some space, just family around me. Yeah, putting in work, won't say a word till they announce it. Hey, determined to get it, I'm focused and driven. What you know about it? Thanks to the sun. Hey, you see the melanin? Yeah, we just begun. Yeah, in my element. Came through clean looking, like a president. Martinelli porn, we celebrating with elegance. Yes, this for the women you see by my side. She gave me reason to fight. Yes, mama, we made it. I know that you proud. Dad always told me stay true to the route. It's for the veal, golden the teal. Kids walk around with the gold in their grill. Told you I'm focused, I never lost hope, and I'm giving them something they feel. I keep it trill, ain't no counterfeit. How does it feel if you doubt it? It's still who we started with. Put down the seed, now it's harvesting. We make the art, then we market it, all of it. I kept the faith, keeping the faith. I know you doubt it. Yeah, out of my way, give me some space, just family around me. Hey, putting in work, won't say a word until they announce it. Hey, determined to get it, I'm focused and driven. What you know about it? I'm just working on my trophy speech. My trophy speech. I'm just working on my trophy speech. My trophy speech. This for the fam, this for the whole team. Yeah. I'm just working on my trophy speech.
I started making a list of some names that I gotta mention when I'm getting my trophy. Yeah. Lot of folk wasn't with me in the gym. I was shooting around, I was trying to be Kobe. No time for the phony, don't act like you know me. Got God on my side, I can stand on my lonely. Been on my ground so that wifey and I could just live a sweet life where this exactly floating. She wasn't there and I wrote your name down and I made a mistake, gotta scribble it out. Snakes trying to slither in now. The ones that ain't put in been wanna reap benefits, they want some clout. That ain't what I'm about. I'm moving different and they moving fast. They gon' be tripping when my name announced. And the winner is Mike TZ. Congratulations. Cause I kept the faith, keeping the faith. I know you got it. Out of my way, give me some space, just family around me. Put it in work, won't say a word until they announce it. Determined to get it, I'm focused and driven, so what you know about it? Yeah, I'm just working on my trophy speech.
My trophy speech.
I'm just working on my trophy speech.
My trophy speech.
See, this for the fam, this for the home team. I'm just working on my trophy speech.
Want to know if you want to take it slow. Oh, hop up on my jet and roll to Tokyo. I want to know if you want to take it slow. Oh, hop up on my jet and roll to Tokyo. I like Gucci bags when they filled up with cash. Call me honey, give me money and designer for the ass. All my friends strapped. We boss bitches. Fuck 12. Fuck stitches. What you see is what you get. Peep that gram and see me flex. Don't hit me with those street texts. Fuck boys want but get no sex.
I'm on the sound, hoodie season, back around, no more summer bounce, little squeeze out, squeeze. Keep that indoors when we're throwing down. Oversized jumper with her underwear out. I'm on the sound, hoodie season, back around, no more summer bounce, little squeeze out, squeeze. Keep that indoors when we're throwing down. Oversized jumper with her underwear out. Like they're bringing anything to the table. Bro, I'm not your son, see I'm able, I do my own bits. Limited edition and some missing classic shit. I know that you're feeling it. First time, I'm proud of my selfish decisions. Couple people did me dirty, but I'm clean. Ain't even mad proof, karma is a B. We all do bad things, when it comes back, it bites hard. I'm on the sound, hoodie season, back around, no more summer bounce, let you squeeze out, squeeze. Keep that indoors when we're throwing down. Oversized jumper with her underwear out. I'm on the sound, hoodie season, back around, no more summer bounce, let you squeeze out, squeeze. Keep that indoors when we're throwing down. Oversized jumper with her underwear out. That heat's coming from my thighs, I'd fire to my words. We're the worst every time, yeah, that we roll. So you know how it goes, I'm my favorite secrets, he likes to keep close. And if you don't, then you don't. You soon will or you won't, if you know, then you know. And if you don't, then you don't. You soon will or you won't, listen up, cause I'm on the sound, hoodie season, back around, no more summer bounce, little squeeze out, squeeze. Keep that indoors when we're throwing down. Oversized jumper with her underwear out. I'm on the sound, hoodie season, back around, no more summer bounce, little squeeze out, squeeze. Keep that indoors when we're throwing down. Oversized jumper with her underwear out.
I'm on the sound, hoodie season, Keep that indoors when we're throwing down. sound, who the sees them? Either indoors when we're forward down.
I'm on the sound, hoodie season, back around, no more summer bounce, little squeeze out, keep that indoors when we're throwing down, oversized jumper with her underwear out. I'm on the sound, hoodie season, back around, no more summer bounce, little squeeze out, keep that indoors when we're throwing down, oversized jumper with her underwear out.
One. Hey guys, and welcome to the channel. Look, it's a cheeky one. I know I'm here. It's NA. It's not my normal time, so I've got to bear with me. I've got glasses on, but I'm joined by the one, the only, the CC man. Welcome. It's been a while, mate. You kept me on the edge. Lastminute.com, just sneaking into the stream. Like, whoosh, I'm here, bro. I'm here. How you been, man? You good?
Yo, doing good, man. But I say it's been a little bit hopping in the cast with you, man. Just happy to be back at it again here, hosting some more PC things. And, you know, like I said, I like to keep things on the edge. Hopefully we get some on-edge games today, Mark. But I'd really like to see these guys give us a performance tonight.
Well, talk about on-edge games, though, what we've got this evening. We have best of 6. Now, it's actually a 2-day event. So technically, it's best of 12. We're going to do 6 each day, where we are only going to entice with one of those little cheeky Tagos. We're going to kick off, though, this evening with a double wrangle, followed up by a one Tago, then 3 Miramar. And actually, tomorrow, we'll swap things around CC. We'll do 2 Miramar, 1 Tago again, but then we'll go for the 3 wrangles to close out. It is money up for grabs, though, so we do have... It's only a little $320. There are other people putting themselves in. And if you guys and girls out there want to support, let me know. Get in touch. Anything that gets involved, I'll make sure it goes over towards the prize pool. Or, more interesting, let's make it interesting. If you guys want to put a dono and go for the longest kill, time survived, you let me know. You send a dono, I'll make sure whoever that player is gets 100% of the money. But that's it from us. It's time to get into game number 1. It's going to be in a wrangle. So I'll see you guys in a minute. Here we go. The wonderful flight path, though, is coming from a north east all the way down towards that south. Northeast down towards the west, pushing the southwest a little bit there, CC. But do you know what? As of game number 1, it's not a bad first flight path.
Looking pretty good, man. That's a nice standard flight path. Could give these guys a nice opportunity to figure out where they're going to be heading, what they're going to be doing, and kind of who's in the lobby. Give them a good feel. You know, you kind of like this one to start the game off, Mark.
Yeah, it's not bad. The teams should spread out. I'm just looking at some of the drop zones here on Discord, as the guys are super organized. Like they've got all of that stuff like lined up for us. We can see it from our point of view, where we get to have a chance, an opportunity to look back at how these teams are landing, what the plans are. And I think we're going to see a little bit of scrimmage where I would expect teams to drop on each other at the moment, mate. I'd expect that maybe the action to happen between that sort of phase 1. But as you know, obviously I do a lot of the EU stuff as well. And we do see, even though when money's on the line, a little bit of respect, a little bit of a gentleman's agreement. But this is NA. You guys like to throw it down aggressive and quick as well. So playing path is done and dusted. We're about a second away and we get the first zone. And this first zone does pop very much later on that playing path. And it is down in that southwest corner.
Now, one thing with this new update, Mark, so that did not really happen here, is that the plane path, I'm noticing does no longer have to, the circle no longer has to touch the flight path. So by saying
you've been looking at my YouTube.
I've
got a video dropping about this because you are 100% right. Yes, since the new update, for those that don't know, before you would have heard us cast as CC going like, hey, we know it has to touch the plane path. Like it's random, it's got to touch the plane path. But it doesn't do that anymore, does it?
It's nice, man. I said opens the door for a whole lot more opportunistic circles. I mean, the question for a safe drop, respectively, Basa becomes a whole lot more challenging, and I really do like that aspect. And I think a lot of the players are going to appreciate it too once they start to see some of the new zones that can now be a part of certain plane paths where you're like, oh, this is a guaranteed milli, or oh, this is a guaranteed north zone. You now start to kind of challenge that knowledge, and again, I think it's going to really spark up some interesting plays for the players here.
Yeah, and talk about some players really seeing an interesting. HB is trying to work their way in now. EF though sitting top side as they are got the shotgun. They will be waiting and pause. Nade does come through, but she's a little bit too far away. Tiny bit of damage here. I think HP are fully aware where he is. He's flashing. There goes our first blood of this evening. And unfortunately, though, EF, they are the first ones down.
Losing one like that, nothing you can really do. At least it's only one at this point. They're going to just back up off the time for right now. Got to reformat themselves here. Again, being that we're so respectfully, it's early. There's still a whole lot more mapped comfort. And we still have a lot of rotating to do for these teams here. So a lot of separate teams here. You can see quite a few as 4 individual players for each team kind of holding their own zone right now, trying to make sure that, again, inside this zone, they're challenging the control right here. Power plays, yes, but you also have to be very careful about it to not get pulled up on. But it looks like, as I say that, some of the teams starting to hop into the vehicles and everybody's starting to kind of group up a little bit more towards one another.
Yeah, so for those that do follow my stream, you would have noticed the last 2 days I have been doing the MIA region. Well, actually, they do this event, CC, but actually do it over 4 days. So 24 games, quite a longer time. And obviously, prize pool a little bit bigger on that one as well, and they do get other sponsorship involved. A little bit more of a mature league, should I say. But even when we see more than 6 games, I like the style of play. I like the aggression that sometimes comes from teams, because on day number 1, if you can get out early, you can get some major points on the board, whether that comes from chicken dinners or whether that comes from kills. That can really set up your event. And yes, it is a little 2-day event, this one, but if you storm day number 1, it kind of relieves a little bit of the pressure for that secondary day. Looks like a swap out here, though, as Robusto puts the shotgun in the hand. And here's one who slams through the shotgun, but soon to follow, though, as a nade comes rolling in from the mountain, down and out they go, able to pick up the player, and lucky enough for them, it's only a knock, it's not a full casualty.
Looked a little dangerous there. A nice recovery, though, Boss. That nade was perfectly timed, couldn't have been put better. But it looks like now, sticking the res, they'll be able to get 4 strong. And again, it's that solo player getting caught out here early on now, twice in a row here. Again, good for scouting, bad for team play. But, it is the risk that we take in order to kind of scout out and make sure that we have basically where we want to play in phase 1, being this is one of those zones, about 40% water. majority of it is land, but there's only so much so many compounds that you're going to want to play from in a zone like this. And from the top now, we've got Soniqs getting involved here. They're taking a few shots down on the run, and it looks like kind of turning back, hightailing out. They've got their damage. They've got their knock. The flush isn't going to come through, so Soniqs just doing a little bit of pop shots here.
There's a bit more of that farming information, right? They're just trying to figure out exactly where they are. I'm not a fan. I call this Llama. I know some people don't, but I call this Llama Hill. Being up in Llama can be very rewarding from teams. We can find that you get a lot of kills, you can farm a lot of information, but also it's quite dangerous because teams can backfill quite easy. We see teams push themselves into positions where actually, do you know what? You don't want to sometimes be condensed in between, especially two powerhouses. And this lobby this evening and tomorrow is really stacked. We've got all the major players. I think a lot of these are using this for the LPGS2 tryout, and it's not long now before we start seeing all of these back on the main stage.
Yeah, so we have a team dropping in from the airdrop. I like to see that they finally implemented. You can see where the teams are as well, Mark. I know last time I think we had been in the cast closer together. We were kind of questioning whether that was going to happen or not, and it's good to see that, you know, you kind of know when they're in that airdrop path, when they're actually in the plane and not just disappearing from the map and randomly back. So it's really cool to see that feature kind of coming in as everybody starts to group up towards the center of this zone. It's really starting to get tighter and tighter. Still with only 2 players lost, a lot of players more or less just taking shots here as drive-bys go by.
Yeah, and that's what CC's talking about. But historically, you used to see like this little engine, this little steering wheel kind of logo. They've actually now updated it to be the plane. I think that's such a great touch there from PUBG. I know they had it when they were putting the deployable parachute down, but actually, do you know what? Makes sense from a caster's point of view, viewership point of view. You're able to understand exactly what is happening and when it is happening. So I like it. Very much ready for that main stage. Let's talk about some positioning here, though. This zone, I actually really like what HP have played up to. This is a strong house lead, somewhere we see from the EU question mark play, and they can farm a lot of kills here. Got to keep alive. It is sometimes hard, CC, to keep the cars alive in this position, as when the pressure does release it, it will force teams to focus over here. But I think generally speaking, if you park exactly where we do see Danny up with a vehicle, they should be okay. They should be able to keep these cars alive. And more importantly, I've seen so many more deployable shields now being used to keep those cars safe.
Looking to see how it's going to play out here. Still waiting for that phase 1 to come in. And everybody's basically comfortable. We've got one team still. I believe that's LG making their way in, and the last team to join us here in the zone. Otherwise, majority of that zone's looking pretty tight. HP Big Tony coming to group up with the rest of his squad there. And then we basically got everybody sitting in tight, looking like it's going to be a wait for the pop here. And I'd honestly like to see somewhat down towards Primorsk, keep that area in, and you know, let these teams kind of have to rotate down to that coast. I really do like that coastal fight where you see no teams are kind of currently at, but if they do decide to go hang that way, it's a very exciting gameplay. The end game tends to be very different as far as the hillsides and the compounds go. So I'm very interested to see where this zone will end up, and it's a great start off a great first flight path here.
Definitely a great start off the flight path. And just trying to figure out, I've been told there is a slight echo. It's coming from your side, CC. Because if I mute you up, I don't get the echo anymore. So just double check to see if you've got any sound coming out loud, mate. If you have got it come out loud, can you put headphones on?
So now you said you're getting an echo?
I just want you to, if you got sound coming out loud. Keep talking. Cool. So CC just gonna have a quick look at that. Why that's coming up as an echo? It's definitely coming from his side, as I can now identify. I can see that my stuff is going. So he's just gonna get himself a little cheeky headset to plug in, as it was coming out loud and was getting the reverb back from that position. So mostly teams, give or take, are pitched up now, and we do have an element of quite a bit of water that is remaining. So obviously with the water down in the sort of south-hand side, we are expecting it to play away slightly. He's gonna work in this. Oh my days, PUBG has done him a little bit dirty. Have you got headsets in now, CC?
Man, we're good. I didn't know about you had the reverb. Normally when we run through the Discord, but it doesn't pick up the reverb. But since we're using the V-Mix, it's going to be a little different.
Yeah. I've sounds like double test. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we're good.
Testing. Let's go. We're good. Oh, yeah.
We're good, mate. We're good.
Easy
All sorted.
peasy,
But you know
mate.
what's not
Easy
sorted,
peasy.
though? Is this zone, CC? You jinx these guys, man.
I told you, man.
So-
I was calling. I told you. I was on the phone with PUBG. I said, doctor, give me the zone. I got a bad case of Primorsk. They gave it to me.
Let me let the chat know that it is gone. So Primorsk, though, being high up there, obviously this section here. HP, though, find themselves in such a great spot because they can really now potentially catch some of these kills as these teams rotate through, though. Forge does work now. The shots, though, as Soniqs continues to work through. They're able to thread the needle nicely. Tiger Barrel Showdown is a little bit further out. M762 so the Dragons be prize waiting. Soniqs might be going for a full send now, but we do have those guys. They've already pitched themselves in. Friendly fire, they're in a great spot as well, as they're already picking up a few as Jeepers find himself in a bit of an Jeepers situation. Sneak attacks through, but Krayshow, he's still sending it.
Jinkies. Bassa coming up with some big plays here. It looks like they're actually going to come back. Cars rolling away. Last player on the pull-up here. The defensive shots from the top. Looks like that's friendly fire here. Sharp shot doing what he can here at the top, holding it down. Drops the smoke. Comes over to flush, but help from the side. It already finishes off the player there. And that is now Soniqs taking a few more kills. Dudes losing a few players as well, as it looks like that's now a storm between both Soniqs as well as TG coming in. And man, it's just a massacre here after that phase 1 shift. Trouble in paradise. Everybody's trying to find some sort of position to play from here in the zone. And I'm sorry, but this is why we have it, right, Mark? This is why we have to put that jinx, so we got to put that intensity in. Players are challenged. The intensity action is crazy, and good shots coming out there from from Noah, in order to get that flush out.
Oh, God, obviously, looks like, from what I can see from the deaths on the ground, looks like 4 dudes kind of ditched themselves in, but Soniqs were the first here. Our window has gone down, but they do have Shrimsy further back on the other side, so both these teams kind of sending themselves in towards, or the outside, shall I say, of that Primorsk. So I suppose the safer rotation, though, is coming from this top side, as our Cam team is dropping their way down. They're actually going to go for the very south side, and I think they find themselves pretty clear here. LG already in here. EF the same. Friendly fire in a good position, able to survive themselves out. And Forge now having to take the fight a little bit on the inside of Quarry. This can be a bit of a messy one here. Forge is pushing forward, though, as LBR gonna go back and stick the res, but Chipoji is on the inside. Don't know if there's some miscomms, or if you didn't quite know, NAE does come through. Forge might have caught the player, might see the push. The car will explode and really force the downside. Might be a clear through. No, it does clear through, but look at that. Boom, shoots his own man in the back.
Zavrin, though, nice cleanup here. Read that, used the comms from the car, but the explosion was timed perfectly for him to get those kills. Does it right. Nicely done there, and now holding their position there. It looks like they'll be able to reset, take control. One more team out of Quarry, but this is absolute chaos. We thought down low was pretty chaotic there anymore, but here in Quarry, 3 teams just coexisting with one another. Surprisingly enough, that this is the spot that they're choosing to challenge and fight for, but here it is. Moratorium going to finish up that kill on Perk there. Nice across the actually a little bit too far, but bounces off the fence. He's going to clean that one up.
Down.
8, yeah, Adam actually is going to find that with trade onto War right there. After the flush comes through for Purdy. Now,
yeah, it's a good trade.
Good
trade from him. Good trade from him. Really good trade from him. Forge were here first, though, CC, so they're the ones on the defense. But I think there's just so much action, so many teams coming from different angles here. To not understand what fight to take first. Plube, though, taking initial shots. Nade bouncing up from Adam perfectly into the face, though, of Plube. Forge are down now. Final player sits himself in the smoke. We'll have the opportunity if Plube can get himself over, but for me, he needs to take the picks up one, gets the knock where crucial. He's not going to be rolling in straight through to that P90, that OP, that meta gun. Definitely one which I feel is a little bit out of sync, but if you get the shots on first, you might be the one able to get the down. The smoke will bring him a little bit. Blue hasn't been confirmed. It looks like STK now. CC is going for that res.
Sticking the res over here to LBR here, looking like they're taking a few losses as well. HP get into it, still 3 up there. Fighting and taking the eastern part of Corey here, trying to find it, be the only team left up there. As again, there was just 4. Now a 5th team making their way up towards the top. M762 looking to get involved in that fight, and they'll be able to clean up majority of what's happening here from Forged, as well as our STK boys there. Says they're going to come up right on the lower side of the ridge there, basically just kind of playing on the lower edge. Eventually, those 2 teams will have to come down off the ridge, rotating in this direction, and that's when I think we'll start to see this team start to come and capitalize on these kills. However, STK, all 3 members barreled up inside the warehouses. The remaining Forged members still sitting outside there in the shacks playing the hill. There's Penta with the P90. Going to find some good shots on a Cowboy, and it looks like that's a good information getting fed over. Now realize there's another team with that knock over on the side there. Good shots from STK. Realizes NAE looked good.
Oh.
Ooh, it was so good, Mark, but just not good enough.
That is a hero's red there from Honey Badger. Does get the res, though, in time for that one. Looks like they're going to have to try now hold out. Cross going to be holding the ankles, but then util is constantly coming in. They're going to have to ensure they get the res on pretty quickly and stop this push here from STK, but they refuse to leave the trenches. Well, as I say that, they proved me wrong, and they now exit in the P90. Interesting enough, is not the spearhead. It actually does become the spearhead running his way through. Doesn't catch the player. He's late. Get some great shots on him, and he's actually not getting out the P90 spinning round as he doesn't get any knocked over, causing the damage. Honey Badger's already down. A Cowboy is the final player here for them. Greg is already on the other side, kind of where I would have thought the rest of the players wanted to be, but our Dragons wanted to take the action.
Kind of Alo here coming alive with the back support of Adam there. These 2 players and the support of the 3rd as well coming through, running out of the warehouse. The timing couldn't be better. M762 did, I think that their play went exactly how they wanted, but STK just flipped them on top of their head right there, turned everything upside down there, and that's M762 with just 1 member left off after a bad pull up there, trying to clean up what was left there in Corey. And unfortunately, sometimes it just happens like that. Great reaction from STK there.
Yeah, it's a good reaction, good play from them. I was a bit worried they were going to sit tight, and we would have seen the barrel, the Dragons, let's say, tighten themselves up. Interesting though, though it's just sitting on the outside. Forge able to survive as well. Very much a big battle from Corey. We'd always expect Corey to come out, but that's even before we look back on this side. So obviously, with this side being a little bit of a danger house. EF though sit just on the outside, but they now lose the zone. We saw early on Soniqs making a ditch attempt in, but so did the 4 dudes in a hot tub, and they remended 1 dude now in a 2-story building. Those guys, they were here first, and LG were on the other side. Cam, if you remember rightly, they parachute themselves down. They took the south side of the zone, gave them a bit of a reset now, so they have worked their way through this kind of east side of Primorsk. They're able to farm as much information as they can. I'm quite surprised they've not clashed heads with LG just yet, but we are a building away from this happening.
And surprisingly enough, LG was one of those teams that was the last to be inside phase 1. So coming in, getting a prime retail spot here in phase 4 is actually relatively nice at the edge of Primorsk, but they're at the center of the zone. 1 team controls it all, and Bossy is literally with no real, reason to push that compound there. Should be good for another few phases, unless anybody is trying to full send upon that compound. But for now, having all the time in the world to kind of just play out this zone, they'll sit comfortably and just wait for phase 5 to start to pop off here, Mark. Still 3 teams in Corey. Not sure how long that much is gonna, or how long that's going to continue to coexist, but there is still those 3 teams upside in the top of Corey there. On top of the bottom there, we got AE sitting down Primorsk. That's the fight we continue to waiting to pop off. Also, another, I want to say the Soniqs, still just 2 players left alive leading the top side of Primorsk, and that's honestly where I think they could be getting and farming a few kills as a few teams start to rotate out of Primorsk, and we'll have to see where this next phase goes. The most questionable thing is where the phase goes, and does it keep Primorsk in or does it keep Quarry? It's going to have to keep one or the other, but often the way they're playing here is definitely on our toes. Ice Tech, good shots coming out. He's going to get the knock on to Alo there. STK already lost Adam in the fight here. It looks like LBR with just the 2 players left over trying to turn this back, and it looks like they just be able to, but at a standstill now. STK with just 2 down. Penta P90 is out. He's debating whether or not he gets involved with this as Forged takes this opportunity for the chance to stick their res as well.
Penta is refusing to go down. Now, we know he's such a strong player. STK is actually one of these teams I love watching, I love casting. And per P90 in one of their hands, they're refusing to go down. Able to now, nearly get the res, just didn't get in time. Maybe there's a bit of favoritism there, Penta. He went for Adam first. I won't say anything else in chat. I'm sure the chat will have their opinions on that one though. But SDK now go down to a 2-man. They go and they lose the zone. But we've got Forge, we've got LBR. Also needs to come out of here. Gregory Storney just inside of Zonos. He did rotate a little bit early, and then obviously we did lose multiple teams. This is now going to be the fight for zone. I believe the echo has all been sorted now, guys and girls. I'll be back on watching the camera, so apologies for the last, I suppose, 10 minutes of your time watching this one. I don't have to focus on trying to understand if the audio is or is not working. And welcome back though. LG, they now have their back as they got the zone behind them, as they are focusing now their attention back on the other side. EF came off the hill. They're going to rotate their way around towards the coast side. And we have already seen teams though on the leave of this section as Cam played out the hill. Surprisingly, they got away from LG on that one as Friendly Fire get the opportunity, CC, now to make the push, but they've got to be cautious because LG are only a mountain away from them.
And there they are. It's all about getting in first sometimes. Sometimes it's all about waiting to be the last there, as it looks like the forefront of the fight is the first team in as we lose another one. STK, unfortunately, not able to hang on there as they go down in 13th. Teams now finally starting to get eliminated here as we still watch the head-to-head going between Cam and Friendly Fire here. And again, more or less, it's a defensive fight. The blue nade zone, that right there, also a difference in play here. Seems to not really have an effect there, but again, in the knock situation for that smoke, Basa denies any type of res, or Basa at least makes the res that much more challenging inside the smoke. For now, a couple of teams still trying to find their way on the outer edge of the zone, as our one team in the middle continues to sit center and just continues to love the fact that the zone continues to favor themselves. Ice Tech goes down there as LBR loses one more. Teams having a hard time, both getting out of Primorsk as well as Glorious. Neither of them stayed inside after that rotation there, Mark. So now back in the fight, Slick with the nade tosses it over right back at the side of the smoke, but a little bit too far there, unfortunately. And another one comes to follow, but still a little bit too much range as the double man push comes in, the flush, and then the follow-up. Does not realize he's actually right on top of the body, finds him. Good recovery from Paige. That was almost bad there. He does find that member, and then one member left up here goes to find the final. Inside the blue, chunking a little bit. Not much more he's going to be able to do, but they're waiting out. They know he's there. Sharp shot in the smoke. He's going to take those shots, cleans up the last of Cam there. 8 now, 14-8 in a matter of 2 minutes there. We've lost a lot of squads with that last phase 5 to phase 6 shift right there, and teams continue to fall left and right. Is this nade, Mark? Could be perfect, but it's a little short there.
Little short. Friendly Fire though will get the attention, but look at that, 10 kills, perfect placement, sitting on the outside of this town as the teams had to rotate past them. The zone pushed them back down. Friendly Fire in a position only have lost one so far. I was a bit sad when we saw Corsac leave the team, I'm not going to lie. But this is a powerhouse team, Friendly Fire, new logo, new ideas, new position. But unfortunately, it's a new zone. And we don't have to play guess what's in the drop anymore because we see the AWM. LG unable to get the knock. They don't have any more information. So they're going to reposition with a new way in towards zone. Now, with this zone, if I bring it up in the bottom corner, it does very much go back towards that east-hand side. Elevate now sit on the outside, but they've got the little compound here. They're going to be focused. Any teams coming in that sort of northwest section, wouldn't be surprised maybe LG to play into this sort of ridge. Be a neighbour, be a friend to them, but just try and get a little bit more information before making their next play in towards zone. You've got to remember, they've been in Primorsk, they've not had the information, and that way, any dangerous rotation, any bit of a too much, they're going to get caught out here. So we are seeing 69, they are playing themselves down, and LG, they do go a little bit further in, but they don't go over too much. They should be able to try and boost a bit of information, but some of that information has now come in. The 69 have played around the same way. They've got to get back on these shots here because they will be slightly exposed as they make a run to the shack, but they lose one here as NAE leaves reload down for potentially inches to get into cover. The blue zone nade just bounces away, hits the shack. There might be a bit more robbery. I'm liking these blue zone nades, but I don't think that one's going to be more effective here. And Elevate also trying to get involved in that third-party action from the compound.
Elevate finally getting the chance to get in the action, and they're not wasting it long from the side, trying to get involved when they can. Silly is going to get a crucial knock there, like Mark said, to deny any further push. Snakers comes in for a follow-up as well, doing some damage in the back. Also finding knocks on the Poonage there, so fighting on two fronts. They're continuing to hold it down somehow, some way. M762, the barrel showdown, sneaks inside the compound. And he thought he was going to do some damage there onto Elevate, but Elevate avoiding the knock for right now, realizing that there's now a player behind them, has to then turn their attention to focus on this fight as LG still in the fight over in the side here with 69. 2 players down. The res does come through. Snakers coming in from the back, looking to potentially give the help where it's needed. And the 4th member should get picked up, and no, finish. Nicely placed today. Gets the flush, gets the knock.
Oh!
Trying to deny, goes for it, goes for the follow flush, gets one, but does not get the second knock.
Oh, yes, it is. GG's. He
Nice
saved
play.
his boy to a point. Unfortunately, the zones are going to do him, but GG's getting those shots in the smoke with just dissipating and millimeters away, but able to land the shots. Talk about landing the shots, though. I got told off the other day for calling him Gregory. Calling him by his full he's calling Greg, but he goes down from Elevate, and we see our top 4. We went down teams really quickly. The remaining teams, though, LG, they've only got a nice little cheeky 8 kills on the board, but 2 remaining. Interesting, though, Elevate for me, they lost some numbers here. Shimboy puts one of LG down. They're also on 2, but they're down on the kills because they've been holding the compound. Shimboy going to be making the push now out towards the compound. This is where we see Elevate come along. Initial shots though come up, but he goes down. Little one-on-one. Looks like Elevate though hold that one as LG. They take 4th place, and HP trying to take the 3rd party action. Only 4 kills as well, and they got 3 players.
Down to the top 3 teams. Elevate looking to be a little bit further into that top 2. There's a stick res back to 2 players up. Friendly Fire gets into it with HP. And down and around here, they need to regroup. I like the control they have for the zone right now. 3-man spread as everybody else is kind of forced out to the zone. If they get this knock on a Big Tony, Sharp Shot is going to find it. That's huge right there. Now just 2 players and 1 direction to focus. It's Elevate as well as HP, both inside the edge of this zone, but in the same direction. So Friendly Fire starts to take control of the zone with that knock. Had Tony been able to find some damage there on this rat bus, that could have been dangerous for Friendly Fire, but they're doing exactly what they need to do, take control of the zone, playing it slow, and now Barker Flush goes to get the 2nd HP member down. Firing a few more over the top. He's going to get another chance to live here. Gets a few more to kind of buy his days, hang his numbers up, and it looks like for now, Emmy holds what is left of HP's chance to get inside the top 2.
I'll turn my audio down slightly as I just had to sort the audio issue out. So I've gone down a little bit now, but yeah, final couple of teams have. Friendly Fire just played well with a very bad zone, right? They've put themselves in a position that teams have to rotate past them, then the teams rotate back, and now they just hold this wonderful edge on the south. There's 1, there's 2, goes down to the final player now, and then obviously with a HP, 4 kills. Friendly Fire for me has been storming aggressive here, laying low. They've got the information, they know exactly where they are. They just want to try and ensure they get the information back on Flush though, holding out. I think they're waiting for the final shot. So Shot though will line them out, and it's going to be a winner chicken dinner though. First game, 26 points here. We mentioned it quite early on there, CC, and actually can be very, very, very damaging, because if you can get a good aggressive game number 1 under your belt, high kills, high reward with the winning chicken dinner, you go and do that again, I think you're going to find yourself, you're setting yourself up for this 2-day event very, very well.
Great start for Friendly Fire there. But I say great, again, starting zone to kind of feel the lobby out. Again, like you said, there's a lot of talented players, a lot of performers out there tonight. So Basti, it's not going to be an easy walk in the park. And again, a nice little peek into what PGS2 qualifiers are going to be looking like.
Oh, yeah, this is, well, it's more than a little bit of a sneaky peek, right? Because the guys were able to put a dangerous number on the board straight away. Anyway, let's take a very, very quick break. I just need to go and double check some audio bits and pieces. Need to check a few logo bits. You see, you threw me, mate. You got me the echo. You got me down some numbers, mate. I'm on the back burner. But we do have another 5 games. Hopefully everything's sorted. Let us know. I've just turned my audio down slightly. I might even do it again. I can hear myself in the ear. Let us know in chat, though, and we will make sure we have the best service for you. But for now, we are going to take a very quick break, though, as we load lobby number 2.
sound, hoodie season, back around, no more summer bounce, little squeeze out, squeeze. Keep that indoors when we're throwing down. Oversized jumper with her underwear out. I'm on the sound, hoodie season, back around, no more summer bounce, little squeeze out, squeeze. Keep that indoors when we're throwing down. Oversized jumper with her underwear out. Like they're bringing anything to the table. Bro, I'm not your son, see I'm able, I do my own bits. Limited edition on some missing classy shit. I know that you're feeling it. First time, I'm proud of my selfish decisions. Couple people did me dirty, but I'm clean. Ain't even mad proof, karma is a B. We all do bad things, when it comes back, it bites hard. I'm on the sound, hoodie season, back around, no more summer bounce, let you squeeze out, squeeze. Keep that indoors when we're throwing down. Oversized jumper with her underwear out. I'm on the sound, hoodie season, back around, no more summer bounce, let you squeeze out, squeeze. Keep that indoors when we're throwing down. Oversized jumper with her underwear out. That heat's coming from her thighs, I'd fire to my words. We're the worst every time, yeah, that we roll. She know how it goes, I'm her favorite secret, she likes to keep close. And if you don't, then you don't. You soon will or you won't, if you know, then you know. And if you don't, then you don't. You soon will or you won't, listen up, cause I'm on the sound, hoodie season, back around, no more summer bounce, little squeeze out, squeeze. Keep that indoors when we're throwing down. Oversized jumper with her underwear out. I'm on the sound, hoodie season, back around, no more summer bounce, little squeeze out, squeeze. Keep that indoors when we're throwing down. Oversized jumper with her underwear out.
I'm on the sound, hoodie season. Keep that indoors when we're throwing down. I'm on the sound, hoodie season. Keep that indoors when we're throwing down.
I'm on the sound, hoodie season, back around, no more summer bounce, little squeeze out, squeeze. Keep that indoors when we're throwing down. Oversized jumper with her underwear out. I'm on the sound, hoodie season, back around, no more summer bounce, little squeeze out, squeeze. Keep that indoors when we're throwing down. Oversized jumper with her underwear out.
And welcome back, everybody. Here we are for match number 2 as part of the NAE 2-day event here, as we're back into our second playing path over Erangel here. 16 teams, 64 players dropping in. Let's hope for a little bit of a different result, as this is one of those zones, Mark. We've got that playing path that could potentially, you'd always expect that, all right, military base probably coming, but now you have the opportunity for it still to pop back up off that flight path. What are we thinking here for match number 2? Any thoughts on the plane path and what we expect to come through here in Erangel?
Oh, well, you got it nailed on the head. Historically, you'd be like, Military Island, right? It has to go through the flight path, but it doesn't have to now. It could go as high, Lepovka, it could go Gatka. One thing I will say, and this is what I'm trying to figure out, and I actually do on my YouTube channel, slight little cheeky plug there. I do talk about the video drops in a couple of days, but I do talk about actually, it doesn't go that far all the time. It doesn't have to touch the flight path, but it's not that bad. So,
Right.
it will bounce up. We've got 10 seconds, but we've already lost one here. Friendly Fire are game number 1 winners. And yes, I do know the logo was wrong on the break. That's why I got CC to take it. I figured out why. I've got the new logo because you can see it on screen. Giving up. Cam go down. They do receive a knock themselves. Rest of Family Fire, though, a little bit further over. Stone doesn't go too far away from that flight path, mate, as it does go up, but we get the potential that we could have Yaz Field ending. We could see it pull all the way back down towards the southeast. We might get that Mansion Field. That's a wonderful area, all the way down to prison. It might go the other way, mate. It might go towards Potato Hill, School, Flats, Apps, and that corner section up the volcano. So lots of opportunities for the zone here. This is where we're going to see the difference in the IGL decision making. So some will go for more of a passive play, maybe wrap themselves up to the top side. Some will go actually put their sort of a flag in the sand and go, we believe the zone's going to go here. I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple of 2-2 splits.
Definitely some nice splits, Busted. The opportunity, Busted, to do so is going to be there. And I like that it's kept Stalber out. It's kept that hill out as well. So it really does pull it down to the Yasnaya. It likes to kind of center up around the Yasnaya Lake right there, keeping basically the interest of north and south in play there. I like the little grandma's compound that's just outside that Yasnaya compound. Very, very interesting plays here and very interesting rotations to be made here, being that a lot of these teams are going to have to either take similar rotations or they're going to drive past a lot of these centered teams who are kind of staking their claim already inside this zone. And again, we're just waiting for this phase. The phase 1, as we've seen in last match for Aaron Gale, seemed to be pretty detrimental on the rotations. A lot of players gained a lot of information that was used late into the game there. LG, again, made one of the latest rotations in, but was able to gain so much information to get themselves into that late game. Ended up in phase 6, good kills, good opportunity. And that's basically what we're hoping for from some of these teams, to find that rhythm, find those rotation passes, and, you know, make those plays that are going to not be the easy calls, the easy goes. This is, shots coming out there from Page as I'm speaking there, taking him right out of the vehicle. No love there. But Friendly Fire continuing to find a few kills here early on. Did lose Lil Chupacabra, but again, that's 2 knocks now. 1 able to confirm there. Friendly Fire is continuing their rampage here in match number 2.
It is a rampage. A bit of do you know what? I think Cam's doing the right thing. They got a kill. Do you know what? I think they looked at the zone and gone, do you know what? Let's get as far north as possible. It's just,
you know, nobody's
play,
but
sacrifice.
That
yeah.
Right? You know, so that's a good choice.
Yeah. I think it's the right rotation at the right time. They've lost one though, right?
Yeah, and that's 1 down. That's 1 on each side now, both Friendly Fire and Cam. By kind of, you know, taking a loss on each side. Again, we've seen that early loss. That's probably all we'll see phase 1, and then phase 2 pops, and then all of a sudden chaos ensues, and then we start to see these teams get a little more aggressive for that phase 3 spot. As I'm realizing this, as the more and more I cast, that phase 2 pop is really the directionality. Phase 1 is straight standardized generality. You really have no idea what's going to happen there. Love to see it. Great cams there. Great cams. And
no, great counts. I just kicked to the team at the right time. This is pure luck, mate. I'm telling you.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. You know, it doesn't happen all by itself, though. That's for sure. There it is in the rotation. You love to see those kind of things there. We don't always get to see them, but a good highlight play there. You know, again, comms come in. You always love to get like those behind the scenes comms. That would have been a great moment for that.
100%. Why are you T-boning me out this one? Love it. Good rotation. That's a good example of an IGL making a different type of call. I like that. I like that we see the difference. This is what I love about this game. Not just the mechanics, but actually the ability to take your stance, how you believe it's going to unfold. They're going for a more of a passive approach. And we saw that from some of the games last time. Let's have a quick chat, though, as the action is not quite here yet. We've seen, obviously, our... the Jeepers boys going in towards Yazd on the parachute, but look, the zone didn't help, right? So with that in mind, didn't help the rotations. A lot of team called out, and Friendly Fire for me were just in the right position, right time, right zone. Okay, was that luck? A little bit, but don't take anything away from the IGLs because they position that maybe with the potential that it could go into the town, but they also put themselves there with the potential they could get a lot of kills, and they were the first to do it. So massive kudos to them, and that's why I like the IGLs. I like the ability that actually one decision from the players on the battleground can result in a high killing and a potential chicken dinner game.
As you go, they're part of Moratorium Squad. You have a nice little gun chase going on here. Looks like it's finally came to a duel, but popping a few shots at one another as they rotate here. You always love to get involved in those fights on rotation as a player. Always entertaining to see from us over the top there. But those are some of the most challenging and rewarding shots to hit from the car into another car. They're straight drive-by shots there, and always good to kind of take those shots there. As it looks like Elv will kind of sit there on the air. Forge maybe will sit there on the edge of the zone for the time being, kind of play off for right now and wait for this phase one to pop, give us more idea as we pop into Yaz NAE here. We've seen Cam make that top side rotation, that deep rotation, and now they're getting into it with the one team who decides to follow in suit through parachutes here. Two members on each side of the apartments here, and they're starting to kind of gather the information to realize what team that they are fighting here, because again, sometimes you don't want to rush fully in without all the information, and that's exactly what they're doing. They've dropped in, they've scouted out, they've gathered information, and they're not going to take any early losses here. So hats off to these guys being able to play it out, slow it down a little bit. We've seen them get into some jeepers moments very, very early on in that last match. This time around, they want to stay 4 up. They want to be able to see the end game this time.
Yeah, different type of rotation. But both these teams. Get my words out, mate. Jeez Louise, mate. It's 1 o'clock. I need to get these words rolling.
It's late.
I know it's late for me. But same idea, different type of rotation. I know the emergency pickup came under a bit of fire recently. Talk about coming under fire. That is an RPG. As that does destroy just the fence line, but I like the ability now. The rotations have kind of set in now with these emergency pickups, and they're being used quite effectively. I think we're going to see that with the blue zone nades. We're going to see it more with the shields. We're going to see it more with the mortar strike as well, as it kind of settles into esports. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I've got my opinions on them, and I know everyone doesn't always like my opinions, but one thing you get from me is truth, people. And look, the RPG, I think that's just a bit of fun. That's more for the big stage, and I can't see it being used too much. I like mortar strikes. Yes, I did say I like mortar strikes. Is it massively damaging? No. Do you know what I think it does? I think it puts the power back into the compound, where recently, a lot of teams are getting very creative playing open terrain, whereas actually now mortar strikes on open terrain, that's kind of the counteraction to that. And I think the RPGs and the blue zone nades are kind of a counteraction to those shotguns in those compounds themselves. So I quite like it. I want to see how it unfolds coming.
Fair enough, man. Like I said, again, adaptive plays here aren't easy plays here. You have to challenge yourself in order to put yourself in that position. It's a time, it's a place, and you have to do it all at the right moments here. So I'm interested to see how it's going to play off as well. There's a lot of interesting plays that could come off just off the motor alone here. Again, challenging the play and changing up, how you're going to hold and how you're going to play here. As we watch Ice Tech holding out STK. Purdy, though, with a nice nade. He's going to not only confirm one, but gets a second knock, and he's just continuing to let Purdy wrap around and decimate his team if he gets any further up this hill. Nice nade and reflect to get him back. First aid comes in immediately, though, for Purdy to get his heal off there, as Delta's trying to hold off this one-man push as the rest of STK comes from the back there. Krayshow is going to get that knock, confirms at least one of the LBR members there. So that's 2 members left up for STK. Basically trying to wrap up as a 3-man here as they come through. Delta got the first 2 bullets, the AUG in hand, but the ace just too deadly. Ice Tech last up as that ace fires one more time and able to find the last bullet from the side. There it is. Adam with the bolty knocks him down right there, and that's going to be a GG's from the close range.
Yeah, zone shift though, while it happened to Hatchie's come this way, so we are getting that Yaz field ending, which we do love as casters because it does offer a few opportunities. If Yaz stays in for a little bit longer, we see teams survive because they kind of ditch their way into it, and it's easier to survive out in the city. Yes, we do get the shotguns, but we kind of get like maybe a zone and a half extra where we have high numbers. Load of rotations, though, happen. If it does pull to the field, it's about who moves first and who understands the train to a high level. But CC, everyone in this lobby is high caliber pro players, or at least tier 1 at the highest form. So they're going to know the open terrain really, really well. And talk about open terrain here. Our Beryl team, or our Dragons, moved their way. You know, STK do hold on the outside, but the shots do go further out as Cowboy puts Purdy down. That nade was the danger. And actually, Gregory, I can't keep saying Gregory. Why do people tell me off as Gregory? I like saying Gregory. I think it's such a great name. It's a power name. As he lands an outstanding nade, and they do lose the hold in the compound. Now, our Beryl Tiger Showdown, they had the ability now to try and hold out. STK can just potentially hold their heel. For me, this is being ensured destruction. If these two keep just going at it and they don't clear this fight really quickly, it might cause a few problems. You there, CC? Hello? Is he gone?
Oh, sorry. No,
Welcome back.
No opportunity for. Sorry. We lost it there. No opportunity. I was waiting for Penta to pull out that. I was just watching him methodically. To pull out the Panzerfaust. I was getting so excited I had to move myself. But again, he pulls it out, gets the knock. He kept switching, looking. He gets the knock. Penta leading the charge, then cleans it up, and now gets the first aid off. Nade cooks inside the building. And it looks like not going to find anyone to do any damage, but STK trying to take control back of their compound. M762, the Dragons do have one sly player outside the compound. Got to be very, very careful. But no,
Honey Badger, disgusting.
Knock at the door. Can't even get in. Delivery is denied. And that's STK losing 1. Now 2 with Moratorium stepping in from the side. Forged, realizing this is a great chance to get involved, and they may be the ones that come out on top with this compound.
This is the problem when you fight in this area for too long. Oh my days, Cap, that was pinpoint accurate, mate. You need to play darts. The problem with fighting this compound to the ridgeline and with it engaging and going backwards and forwards, any team looking on the outside would go, hey, do you know what? That's a strong compound to have with this style of zone. Let's try and maybe have a little look at the third party. We saw it from game number 1, though, CC, where LG came out the hill. They didn't get the knock needed, so they didn't push any further forward, but we did saw a knock from Forge. I wouldn't be surprised for them now to continue pushing forward as we still see our Dragons fighting STK. STK backed into the corner, Adam, shotgun in hand, but it is only an up and over, though, because they're going to have to maybe get this knock. Honey Badger's got to get the call in. He's got to get the reinforcements before he makes it. It's got to be a trade-off situation. Don't run in that door without the backup here. Gregory stacking himself up. Here comes the stack. Flash ready to go. Oh, he gets in with the secondary. Swaps over to the M16, but Gregory, though, finishes it off. That could have gone either way. If he had more in the chamber, though, for the shotgun, it could have been a dangerous ending either way. But this is the opportunity now for Forge to push down to the compound and take it away from both these teams.
Nice play there from the Barrels in order to take the compound away from STK and avoid the fight with Forge for now here. And it looks like buying that time. Care pack going to be dropped just outside. A fight well won. Is it going to be worth this next zone shift, though? It's going to be time to see where the rest of the action is. We have 4 teams with that outside team in NAE here, waiting for that zone to potentially pop its way back up. As we have LG again taking another late rotation into phase 3, playing off some, exactly the hillside, avoiding the compound and kind of just stacking up the cars here. Great little dip to play from right here, but over to the side. Those guys, Daddy going to scout out that information as a solo, and he's going to have to realize that he's got to regroup with the squad, realize that he can play from here, but it's going to be a little bit more dangerous if the squad doesn't get there soon. However, 2 more LG members on a 2-2 split still have to group in.
Oh, they actually pinpoint accurate. I just mentioned it. The util, the actual mortars being more effective on the outside. That is why they can't. LG flushed Daddy out of that area with the mortar strike. It only needed 1. It was enough though for them to put the shots on. I think we're going to see more compound action, CC, to open terrain, as it's an answer to try and stop the creativity of the players open in the open field. But hey, look, do you know what, in chat, let's know your thoughts and opinions on the mortar strikes, the new update, the shields. I know the players kind of like the shields because they it gives them a little bit of extra cover. And as I said, I've seen some really great players. I've seen players use shields to cover car tires in very difficult open terrain as well. But I I'm interested to see how things develop. Not like this zone, though, is developing with a lot of teams rotating away around. That's another great example. Look at that. That's covering the car tyres from the angle, though. Elevate, though, push themselves around. Has a trick queued up. It doesn't quite get there. Hits as it flies over the top. LG, final player now in the compound. As Elevate making the push. Needs to go in. Elevate playing aggressive on the blue. They do have an anchor a little bit further around. They've picked up the information now, so they'll be making the comms. But it is phase 3 here. So he's able to fire out just a this maritime as the push will come in from Elevate. But the information is still being farmed from inside zone.
Very dangerous fight here for LG to be taking. Again, one member still inside the zone, can easily anchor his teammate in, but Rello in a tough fight here at the compound now is inside the vehicle. I believe they start to head off. 2 players do make their way away, so it leaves it to solo. LG isn't going to be able to find the knock. Shots coming in from Stakers. They're inside the blue. Enough damage done, but not enough to find the knock there, so regrouping there as a 3-man, though. They are going to make their way inside that zone. Continuing to rotate in, not stopping there. That zone does force them out, so they're going to continue to rotate up on that eastern edge of the zone there. Back out of here with the barrels, or excuse me, with the Dragon Tigers. We're going to make
It's a long one, isn't it? Dragon Tiger Barrel Showdown. You've got to keep saying it as the casted T gets in your head. I call them the Dragons for sure. I don't know why, but I just think it sounds cool as hell. But it's a strong team.
And you're always going to be talking about them. So, again, we've seen them, make some plays here. They're keeping themselves relevant. And again, now they're on this rotation into the next zone. But from the back comes Forged. They've been waiting to make this encroachment. They will lose one, but Honey Badger, full send, looking for an opportunity to play for something. And he's going to stop here. Close enough to the center of the zone. Yeah, I was about to say, get over that hump right there, because stopping there, you would have just gave one more kill back to Forged right there. So Forged will take control of the compound, gets that kill onto Greg, and that's going to basically be it right there.
Yeah, nice confirm. That was the whole push, and then taking that compound away. Unfortunately, it does go to the field. Sometimes we see that compound in for a little bit longer. Oh, hello. So look at this, though. EF taking 1 across the Go Heart Farms of information. What he's going to do here, see this lot in EU at the moment, they go to the very end of the plane path CC, disengage, pull the parachute, and it's kind of a sacrifice. He knows he might die, but what he's going to do is he's going to farm a lot of information from here. He's going to be looking, if I go to into his eyes, we're going to be able to farm a lot of the information. He's going to try and figure out where the players are, where it's safe to land. You can see him looking around at the moment, trying to make the calls. Is the bunkers clear? Is the field clear? Where's all the smokes? I like this play. More of these pro players, more of these tier 1 players are using this strat here. Get the shoot, get the emergency pickup, keep it to the late, push yourself really, really high, pull the shoot straight away. The likelihood is you're going to die quite early. But you know what? You keep 3 of your other players alive. You've got a car, and potentially you give an opportunity for 3 to stay alive.
That's a very great play. I like to see this coming along here. Bossy scouting that information, and that sometimes is more valuable than a full send, losing all 4 members. And there's LG doing just that on the full send, straight through the middle. You're going to end up there with that little bit of hill to kind of stack on. They're going to have to use their cars for coverage. If they don't, they're going to put themselves in a very challenging position. But you make themselves off there as Friendly Fire on the backside tries to fight their way in against Soniqs sitting inside the bunkers. Coming outside of Liquid, which we also see in quite a few finishes there, finishing Liquid, but nothing for Liquid this time as Friendly Fire. They're having Barker flush make his way out.
Oh.
Motors coming in, looking to flush that kill onto H-Win there, but not going to happen. Ooh, that one even closer. An emergency did sacrifice himself going down, as in the kill feed we just seen him go down there. So unfortunately, yes, that was a great play and the information comes through, but in a zone like this with so much field, it's kind of Paige gets the motor knock, gets the re-knock, I should say, because that's now H-Win for the 2nd time down. Does he have the 3rd to follow up if he gets this last one in? That's going to be 2 kills.
No, that's his third. That's his third. That was his third one.
Okay.
But that's about the danger now. Open terrain. I get why the players don't like it, because that open terrain, you're normally safe in that bunker. You see it, and they're moving around. They're making something happen from an open terrain. Even now, there's a lose them. But with someone with a mortar, and I'm not going to say with no skill set, because there is a bit of skill set when it comes down to mortars. But if you know the measurements of the map, you can make it work for you really effectively. And then obviously the angles play a little bit of section, and the zone's not quite 144 across. Obviously depends on your angle onto it, though. But you're able to make something happen from potentially nothing. It did take him 3 shots to get in, but he got the result. But they're unable to make the push. But we do now have EF. They did lose that player on the higher ground. They could see, though, these bunkers were safe, so EF did play in. Now, they have lost zone, unfortunately. Again, this is an area you mentioned, though, that we see Liquid, that compound leaving from Friendly Fire, being in quite a lot. And with it now being out of zone, Friendly Fire have to make a decision to make a push in. I think if they got more of the knocks from the mortars, they might have played in their CC, but they didn't get it. I think they need to wrap around, maybe find something else to go to. But EF did see an opportunity to land so, and hoping it would be in a little bit further, but it's not going to hold out for them anymore.
And honestly, I think that's where we're going to see the change come in, is the opportunity, Buster, because with the timing goes with those motors, that could have been a push for Friendly Fire easy to make, and then it's them in the fight with EF right there. Unfortunately, though, Soniqs reset twice off both the knocks, and now it's them holding, and Friendly Fire having to force their way out. Here in the mix, we've seen now one team already crash the compound at the Wizard Tower there. Has already lost the fight. Now we have another team crashing the Wizard Tower, and then down south, even further than that, we've got HP getting into it here, losing 2 members, trying to reset. And we're trying to see if they're going to be able to recover here. Soniqs finding the damage, getting the knocks back onto EF there, and it looks like friendly clan members there from the Soniqs. As you see SQ all in the clan feed right there, a little bit of friendly bloodshed right here, and this is going to be a good thing for them to talk about, I'm sure, after the matches are over here, and we'll see how they decide to play. But already 2 players down. Shane, the last left alive for EF, as more nades raining from Soniqs, trying to find the last member here. Still nothing to gain, and more smokes now for Sonic to then buy their way out of these bunkers here, because eventually they have to step into the battlefield with the rest of these teams.
I think EF made a minute mistake there. Like, the only action for them was to push Soniqs. The moment I feel like Soniqs knew that they pushed the other way, they just took the opportunity to push him. They got caught in the back. I think there's a bit of a mental mistake for them. I understand they were trying to get into zone, and for me, they should have taken the fight head on. Look, you could have died, but I think it was your only option, in my personal opinion. Push forward. 25 though, they have lost a couple, but they're now down to solo, and they got to crawl their way into zone, mate.
You know, I honestly seen this, you know, it's like one of those plays for like the field. This was something a lot more common before. Now you don't really see the crawling all the way to the center zone unless you're the last player alive here, but sometimes that's a tactic. I mean, your visibility at that point is very, very challenging, and if you're not looking in that direction, that's an easy way. And again, nobody likes to play that way. Nobody wants to admit they play that way, but it is sometimes the way to get in, unfortunately. So in these field finishes here, with 8 teams alive and the amount of shooters that we have left standing here, I mean, I wouldn't want to leave my head anywhere for these teams to have a shot at right now. So, you know, again, field plays, crawling your way in, times like this is the time, as there is more bunkers being set up here. As again, there's that shield coming in play there, like Mark said, again, not only holding the tires out, but also giving them an off angle, giving them basically 3 corners to the 4th right there, with the hillside being as a own little solo bunker right there. So using the cars, now using the deployable shield to make this little spot a lot more playable. As nades rain in, that's nothing you're going to play against that, unfortunately, because nades are going to do a lot more damage than that shield. So unless you bounce the front of the shield right there, that shield is only going to stop the shots from coming in for so long right there. So nicely played. Soniqs probably out of utilities after all the things they've tossed. They've now been in 2 fights, fighting their way out of the edge of the zone, just trying to find their way in, but still with 3 alive. They have not given up yet here, so hats off to them, continuing to fight on the edge of that zone, getting in. Now they have HP right in front of them to take this next fight in. As we watch Elevate basically hold off one of our teams who's been off the drop, sitting inside Yasnaya right here.
Yeah, and surprisingly, those 2 guys have stayed alive all the way to sort of phase number 6. We're down to 6 teams at the moment, and it is a huge field ending. We called it both quite early on that it might be going this way, as it was that style sort of play. Nades, though, do go back. Good push, though, from the team. They are now leaving Yaz, and they're taking on Elevate. Heads up, fighting the sneak attack, though, puts 1 down himself. Now, he's down 1 HP. He's going to tuck himself in towards that smoke, and we are going to see the players potentially go head to head. Soniqs are 1 HP, and that is the fight though. On the other side, Sneak Attack being that final play up for the team, trying to get anything he can, as he does whip some shots through the smoke, gets a little bit of damage on, but I feel like these guys are really subject now to the action, and Sneak Attack though, he's going to go put another point on the board, but he says, hey no, oh jeepers, we are out, 6th place for us, and we instantly then lose our team Elevate in 5th place, and we go to our top 4.
Had HP not got involved right there, that could have been a potentially more damaging situation, but HP comes in, then gets taken out, then right behind them, or right before them, I should say, is Friendly Fire there, as we lose 2 teams, leaving it back to Soniqs, as Soniqs, again, such a challenging way to get inside this zone, was not one of the hey, here, take this game and just take it. But that's just Soniqs in their fashion. They found the rhythm. They've managed to take control of this zone off the backfield, out of the trenches, and now into the field here. Unfortunately for them, though, 69 and LGTB, excuse me, is going to be centering themselves up and then really starting to take control of the actual final few zones here. So Soniqs does a great job getting their way in, but the fight is not over yet as the 3v3 ensues. The first aid comes up to open the knock, but it's a little bit off center there, so nothing to gain thus far. Now the 3v3 fight can kind of go at the hillside here as we continue to wait. H-Win just lying, trying to scout up the remaining 2 Sonic members in the back, waiting for that peak to come over the hill there, and this could go any way off that first knock mark.
Yeah, I think it was about Sonic just needed to farm that information. Just understand that there was a lot happening on this east side for me, but they needed a little bit of loot. Take the opportunity, just take it a little bit slower, make sure you get as much information as possible. They've done that now. Look at the play, though. Different for Soniqs. They tighten themselves up. They're really tight as a 3. But if we go for the wider angle, we can see our 69. They've spread across the zone. They're trying to control as much as they can. The danger being if Soniqs can identify the players one at a time, they can cause the most amount of damage. 69, though, with 2 up in front. They have lost 1 now, though, and it will be playing themselves down. Final player, Aho, they've had a disconnect as well. That is so unfortunate. It's actually, guys and girls, it's now a 3-on-1, though. Mexican AI needs to call some AI reinforcement. No, initial shots go back. Does get a little bit of damage, and the information has now been gathered. I feel like Sonic's been looking at this one going, there's still 2 alive. Take our time as we work our way around. There it goes. They find the AFK player. It's down to a 3-on-1. That is unfortunate. 69. See you later. And Soniqs, though, put game number 2 on the board with an impressive 23 points.
Soniqs again, walking at the end of the day there, but like I said, they had to work for that victory right there, and they did. All the way up until the end right there. And unfortunately, for 69, you hate to see it when the disconnect does come through. It's kind of one of those situations where you're stuck, you know, and what are you going to do about it, right? You can gripe, you can complain, but this is PUBG 6 years in, and we're still kind of dealing with those situations. And honestly, sometimes the play after that, we've seen players disconnect, come back, and win matches. So when you're in Phase 8, that kind of question is out of the opportunity there. But GG's, hats off to Soniqs there for a great game there. Number 2, Aaron Gale finished off there.
Yeah, it was good to see him finish off the zone. Just make sure they have farmed the information. Looks like they got a bit more loot as well. Yeah, it's unfortunate we do see the disconnect. It happens or anything. Far too much action. The computer just said, "Sod this, I am out. I'm not fighting Soniqs." Done. As he got disconnected himself. I did get found eventually though, and then obviously the final players, Soniqs, then farmed the information so quick. And actually, I was watching Soniqs. I was watching Owen's stream earlier today, and actually Tickleton as well, and listening to them even just playing as a 3. Just how calm that communication is. If you haven't already, just jump into any of the pro players' streams and just listen how calm and collective the comms are going to be with them, because that does make a difference. They found that information, able to pick up the final players, and then get themselves a nice little chicken dinner. We'll have a quick break though, because we are going to take only 5 minutes or less on the clock, but we are going to load back to Tago. It's a bit of a messy one. I'm a bit disappointed we've only got the 1, but 5 minutes. I'll see you guys in a second.
Always told me stay true to the route. It's for the veal, golden the teal. Kids walk around with the golden they grill. Told you I'm focused, I never lost hope, and I'm giving them something they feel. I keep it trill, ain't no counterfeit. How does it feel if you doubted it? Still who we started with. Put down the seed, now it's harvesting. We make the art, then we market it, all of it. I kept the faith, keeping the faith. I know you got it. Yeah, out of my way, give me some space, just family around me. Hey, putting in work, won't say a word until they announce it. Hey, determined to get it, I'm focused and driven. What you know about it? I'm just working on my trophy speech. My trophy speech. I'm just working on my trophy speech. My trophy speech. This for the fam, this for the home team. Yeah. I'm just working on my trophy speech.
I started making a list of some names that I gotta mention when I'm getting my trophy. Lot of folk waiting with me in the gym. I was shooting around, I was trying to be Kobe. No time for the phony, don't act like you know me. Got God on my side, I can stand on my lonely. Been on my ground so that wifey and I could just live a sweet life where this exactly Cody. He wasn't there and I wrote your name down and I made a mistake, gotta scribble it out. Snakes trying to slither in now. The ones that ain't put in, been wanna reap benefits, stay with some clout. That ain't what I'm about. I'm moving different and they moving fast. They gon' be tripping when my name announced. And the winner is Mike Teasy. Congratulations. Cause I kept the faith, keeping the faith. They know you got it. Out of my way, give me some space, just family around. Put it in work, won't say a word until they announce it. Determined to get it, I'm focused and driven, so what you know about it? Yeah, I'm just working on my trophy speech. My trophy speech. I'm just working on my trophy speech. My trophy speech. See, this for the fam, this for the whole team. I'm just working on my trophy speech.
I want to know if you want to take it slow. Oh, hop up on my jet and roll to Tokyo. I want to know if you want to take it slow. Oh, hop up on my jet and roll to Tokyo. I like Gucci bags when they filled up with cash. Call me honey, give me money and designer for the ass. All my friends strapped. We boss bitches. Fuck 12. Fuck stitches. What you see is what you get. Peep that damn and see me flex. Don't hear me with those street texts. Fuck boys want but get no sex.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the stream. For those that don't know, I'm Mark Power, and this is the wonderful CC, and we're on the Elite Esports EU. We're covering NAE, North America events, PUBG. It's like the EU, Viguri for those that are my EU fans or community. I say community. Community is better than fans. We're not fans. We're community. We all love here. Well, it's over a 2-day event. So we've got 6 today and 6 tomorrow. But we are kicking off today, though, with 2 wrangles. We're going straight to Tago now, and then we are going to go across to Miramar. And that being said, Tago is an interesting map, but let's talk about it, though, as the plane comes in. Let's send it. It's game number 3. I'll see you in a minute.
And here we are back for the only map of Tago tonight. Unfortunately, if this is your map, this is the time to be viewing here, as we have one and one only to get us into Tago here. So a nice northern down to the south side plane path there, leaving a little bit of opportunity for everywhere except for that Hapo and Hey Musa over there on that western coast there. But a very, very even plane path there. Again, giving some nice opportunities. Hopefully we do get to see some of that, river play there, I guess you want to call it there, as the north-south. You see a lot of that on Erangel, not so much on any other map but Tago. So let's see where we get that zone, as again, we could see a potential north-south split with the river. Mark, talk us through that Sonic victory there and how well they play on Tago. You've seen them inside the streams. If you watch them on Tago, it is quite delightful.
It's aggressive. A lot of these teams are learning at the moment still, so they're trying to figure out not just their own game style, but a lot of these teams will understand what we call the timing, and what we mean by the timing is how well they know other teams rotate, right? So they know that certain teams rotate certain ways at certain times, whether they go early or whether they go late here. HP refusing to let go of EF as using the trees. Keep him distracted, but they got a gun. Oh, it's gonna be
Oh, he's got the crossbow.
Oh no! Got run over. I wanted a
Sacrificed
crossbow.
him.
Oh,
Got him with the
you gotta
crossbow.
love it, mate. You gotta love it. Someone clip that because it's going on my YouTube shorts.
Poor Shane. Poor Shane.
Oh god, you never want to get caught out like that. I never want to get caught out. But yeah, so it's about timing. So a lot of these teams will know how each other's time, and with a new map coming in towards the esports and about to hit the main stage, and we've already got some obviously loads of video content of these teams playing on Takeover, but it's still not refined yet, right, mate? They don't know exactly the timing of how people rotate because I don't think they know how to rotate themselves. Not how to rotate, but the timings of the rotation. If you get what I mean. Bit of a waffle. Sorry, mate.
Hey, man, it happens. Like I said again, there's the words, the wisdom, there's the timing, there's again a little bit of everything. You take this with a grain of salt, and it's all in good favor, man. We just all like to see some good action, some intensity, some high interest games here, and we can only get those by if we challenge the players, if the game challenges us, and we tend to see that quite often here. And now looking again as a very similar fashion, there's about 7 or 8 teams in each of these first starting zones, and the remainder of these teams have a quite difficult rotation getting inside, though. The Soniqs beautifully set it up in, of course, that lovely terminal drop, which they take control of every time, as well as it looks like Palace split up by LG as the remainder of LG, as well as a Barrel Tiger showdown lineup start to come down in that direction, as well as we may see both these teams start to group up there. But again, we do have that river flow right through the middle, so we could see it just donut up, keeping that north and south side in. But the most interesting thing is the bridge plays here in Tago. Some work, some don't. Some you can launch off full sandbus, and I think that's one of the most interesting things of Tago here is kind of you have that Erangel rotation, but still like that Miramar, the game style, if that makes any sense to anybody out there. But that's kind of like how I see Tago.
I like the bridges because it plays. We've seen a lot of teams cross over there and a lot of teams camp out as well, which is great. And I do like it. The only thing I'd say when we see these type of maps, you tend to find the zone will play back to that one as much as possible.
It's down every time, but I said it does seem like that could definitely be one of the biggest possibilities here. And again, with time, we will see what does tend to happen here. But LG has grouped up. All members there now inside the Palace. The Barrel Tiger showdown is starting to group on both sides of the bridge.
CC. Whoa. I gotta say, sorry, mate. I gotta say a massive thank you because I've just been told we hit 11k following on this channel. We just hit 11k. IKS Word, you're my 11,000 follower. Thank you very much. And most importantly, thank you to the community for showing us all the love and supporting of the esports that we tried to get onto this channel. So, yeah, sorry, CC. Back over to you, bro.
No, cheers, mate. 11,000. Hats off. That is definitely a success and definitely an accomplishment, man. Hats off to you, dude. I remember being a part of this at the 1,000, the 2,000 rate right here. So
mate, we was there, mate. We was there, mate. We was there doing console early days.
We were there at the smaller side of things here, and here you are elevating here along with Elevate themselves. Getting into it with friendly fire here, and that's definitely nothing to take lightly, mate. Continue to do what you do here, man. The support from the community, boss. It doesn't come by itself, like I keep saying. So that is amazing,
mate. I'd never have thought like just doing a couple of cards helping the community, I'd ever get to 1K, 2K. So again, thank you very much, everyone that has honestly it gets me a lot. Thank you for everyone that is supporting our new YouTube channel. There are links in chat as well. So again, thank you very much. We actually are paying for our content to be made. We have a content creation team now, so everything that's happening from these clips, from all these scrims, from all these events, we push into short form videos, and obviously, as I've already mentioned, we've got breakdowns and understanding of the game and what's happening basically, like the zone not touching the flight path.
Very well said. Very well said. Still in this fight, friendly fire. Bastu has had a good first 2 games, especially the first one coming off 26 points. Now looking like they're going to be one of the first teams to be eliminated here. Not only getting into it with Elevate, but STK finding 1 member. Now looking to get the second there as it's left to just Paige there. There's not much more they're going to be able to do from this position here. So Friendly Fire, unfortunately, looks like they'll be heading out early here as Elevate looks to finish up there. Now this deep flank coming in from Alo here should be able to get this final member, but the smoke buying as much time as possible. All he's doing is are delaying the inevitable there, basically pushing the time clock back because there's not much you're going to be able to do from this situation in order to get out.
No, you've only got, how many smokes he's got? That's his last smoke. The tractor's not giving him cover. He has seen Halo rotate around already. Friendly Fire, though, he's got green transportation. You've got to give him the benefit of the doubt here as he gets on his bike and he sods off down towards the north. He's going to the fires. He's going to do a backflip. No, okay, maybe not. As he gets himself into the other rice field. This is one thing I actually really like about Tago, is that the fields are not flat. I know it sounds weird, but they're able to find these kind of like trench warfare. And when we have zones in the ending like these style play, a player like Paige, a solo player, can actually hide really well and cause a 4-man team huge amounts of damage.
And be back in 5, ladies and gentlemen. Take 5. We'll see how Paige renders off here.
He's hidden his bike well. He sunk it into the rice fields. I was about to talk about some of the bridges, but I don't get the opportunity to do that because we are seeing a lot of action of bridges, and they are pinnacle points really, especially when we rotate across towards this northwest side. Personally, Elevate actually going down from Soniqs. Apologies, we missed that one, guys. HP taking the fight now as the F down rotate their way around, and with the zones playing up towards that northwest, there are some crucial areas, and this is being one of them. HB pitch themselves and put their flag in the sand here as the horses will deter away EF, and they're kind of conquering this outside bridge. A lot of teams will have to rotate this way because CC, if it goes across the other side, we actually do have here on the east-hand side, it's that little stream you can see. That stream is drivable, but the one in the middle is not. And if you look at the stats and facts that are starting to come out from the more smarter people than me, the zone continues to push back towards that. So I can't imagine teams playing away too much from it, but they should stay in and around that area.
Keeps things very, very, very interesting towards that end game there for sure. Especially when the zone pops up there, pops back. It really, really does force these teams to use that big brain and start to focus their attention. On not only, like you said, the kills, but also, again, the IQ, the rotations, the timing, and I could say it enough times, and that's one of my favorite things, will always be one of my favorite things about PUBG, is just the amount of different tactics, different plays, and different scenarios that you're going to run into here. And looking like Danny's trying to run through the smoke to clean up his
2 out of 2. He's trying to get run over his mate. This guy's got a target to achieve. And look, if someone wants to throw some money, put a little bit of a funny bet on. If one of those bets were, what I say bets, one of the donations towards one of the teams to get the most run over kills, then he'd be that guy. He'd be the one. As I said, look, if obviously there's $320, I know it's not huge, it's not massive amounts when it comes down to the big scene stuff, right? But do you know what? Look, get this
money
community, get involved, back it. Community, get involved. Yeah, sitting in the NA, back this. This is an NA event. Like, yes, I'm from the EU. Apologies, right? I was the guy that showed up today. It won't be me every single time. I'm just here covering and giving you guys a bit of content and showing you how good this event is and what these teams can do. But if you want to get involved, you want to show a bit of support, go show some support to the event. And if you want to do some crazy stuff and put, I don't know, £10 on the player who runs over the most people, get involved. Hit up the admins. Let me know. I'll get you the right contact details.
Get into it. Zone is shifting. That donut effect has taken. We are now closer and closer still with that middle bridge in play. But again, we're a little bit more centralized to the north side here with potential to shift down south here. But STK getting into another early fight here as Patrick gets some good shots on the Flaxitives here, trying to pull him back, regrouping with his mates there. He's going to get picked up there, in STK now out of what they had basically taken as a good spot in phase 1, relocating for phase 2. Paige check back in, and he's still there.
Still living the dream, mate. Still living the dream. Worth mentioning before it all kicks off, though, Tego, we do see a lot more teams stay up a lot longer. And as I mentioned, it does go back towards the water in the middle. That's just one thing I've noticed. Whether that's the algorithm, I'm not quite sure. I'm trying to work it out, same as everybody else at the moment. I will say, though, the NA, you guys get a lot more southern zones. I don't think we're going to get that today, but it is kind of a 50-50 which way it does go. And we are seeing a 50-50 decision on the IGLs. But definitely from an NA, from what I've casted from NA, because I've done quite a few now, I do see more and more of it going to the south than to the north, whereas the EU, on the other hand, at Northwest Island, it's like the only place it kind of lands.
Yeah, you know, and it's like, again, that meta kind of switching over, you know, and again, Tego, you're trying to understand what happens. I think a lot more when Tego came out, southern zones were a big thing, and now it's starting to pull towards this river a lot more of the times here. And if not, you're in that airport, Kang Nuang, you know, kind of eastern side of Tego, in order to get kind of that end game right now. But here it is. Cam in another early fight. This time LBR getting some much needed points here as they've got 3 members down. The 4th fighting for his life here as they're starting to basically come in from all angles. They do have 1 member down on their side here, but LBR doing a great job controlling the fight thus far. Stun comes in, misses the target barely by an inch there, but they know exactly where he's at. Starting to scout out, doing what he can. The stun goes out, trying to again delay the inevitable fight, but he's got a 3v1 for him in order to take back control of this compound and win it up for his team. Out the window, right to his death right there. Triple OG read that right, played it out, and again, unfortunately for Cam there, they're down and out very, very early on here on Tego.
Now we see this a lot, though. A lot more teams do survive for longer in Tego, and I think that's again back to that timing element here. LG, though, they are in Palace. Little shots, though, come down. A sneak attack takes a centralized building. He should be able to get a little bit of gear, and as he leaves his parachute up on that roof, he won't be spotted just yet as it descends into the depths of our PUBG meta. They are finding themselves in a good spot, and as long as the zone continues to come up here, they'll be okay. LG taking the opportunity not to be split here. Would be surprised for them now to condense themselves down. 14 teams remain with 46 players. The zone is popping in. Everyone else, give or take, is in zone. We've got a couple of little sneaky players on the outside edge, but a lot of this fighting is in and around this Palace area. LG, as I said, they are going to move themselves around to get back to a 4. That's the right play now. I know it's only phase 2. We normally see more 2-2 splits, but with this map, with the understanding that we are working on this one, every team is trying to find their rhythm in it. And Soniqs being on the hillside is a dangerous team to be at, especially if you're on a 2-2 split. At least buys your chances if you can get close.
It's one of those maps that you really have to watch every 2D for every competition to see where the zones go, to see where the teams are playing in order to adjust. And again, to understand that zones like that are a huge possibility, where a 50-50 split was there, phase 2 was there, phase 1. Now phase 3, it's all north side. And if you don't have a position inside that north side, you are going to full send and hope for the best here. As we watch 69 on their journey, this is the team we've seen place second in the last match here. We're now looking to see how they're going to fare into the rotation. There's the full send. Number 2 coming in.
Make up. It's got no tires.
The horn, barely making it there. Again, yeah, it's so slow. Like I said, had that green ramp not been there, that was an easy dump into the water right there. But both trucks making across there. As Soniqs kind of taking an idea of what's happening here. They've basically set themselves up to get these rotation kills, and they've also, I think, learned from previous mistakes where you don't set up right there where they've stopped at the edge of the bridge, because you then become the next team that's camped out. So right now, that's good for 69, but being the first team there, it's kind of a dangerous rotation. Full teams come in. Yes, you're fighting the bridge. Yes, you're getting kills, but you're also having to worry about other teams from outside in that zone there. So good plays, both from Soniqs and 69 as well, as the remainder of these teams starting to kind of outsource the edges, see where the playable areas are, see where those dips, those bowls, you know, those Aaron Gale plays, like we said, where you know where you're going to be able to play. The compounds have less. This is where you're now trying to put that favor over onto Tego right now, as Forge looks like he's got just 2 players. Is going to lose that 1v1. Spotted out a little early there. Yeah, there's nothing to really do about that right there, Mark. Another player does get traded out. Good trade from No Cap there. Looking to get the follow-up. Does spot him out. Shots come out. The trade isn't there, unfortunately. And then in the back there, it looks like LBR starts to live. They are going to spot the final member of Forge there, and they will get Zovrin down. Zov does go down, and now it is an LBR versus play in order to get themselves on the edge of the zone here. Rez does come through for one. I believe the Triple OG should be getting picked up as well, so both teams should be able to reset and then take this fight as we wait for that phase 3 to continue to close.
Yeah, it's going to continue to come in. Now, LBR do have the information that was a knock either side. And I like the rotation from Forge, unable to execute that. And unfortunately, losing that one-on-one fight really put them down numbers. And with the whole 4 not being close, it was never going to be a winning formulation. LBR got the opportunity, though, to get the Scab a kill. And might obviously take the knock, though. I'd be surprised. And they are still pushing as they are going very aggressive against this one outside the zone. I would have liked these guys to maybe leapfrog ahead of this team and get themselves ahead of the fight, but there's no need. There's a knock either side. Double knockdown comes down to secondary, goes down from Swift Play. It's a Swift Play on both sides as they now down to their final player, and LBR are cleaning up and no idea what
Play
happened
zone?
there.
Play
Yeah,
zone?
play zone, yeah, it was play zone. I'm just trying to figure out who it was at the end. They just looked like he just dropped. He's like, I've had enough. Out.
He said, I quit. I'm done.
I'm done in this fight. I like the Soniqs is getting quite creative. They've not really been engaged too much. They've been centralized zone for quite some time, but they're trying to find the fight. They're trying to find the kills, the third party. I like this though. They're working their way around.
Looking to get some good shots. Mime trying to unload there with the mini silence there. Nothing to gain. And again, all of Palace starting to get shifted out there. We had quite a few teams in there earlier, and we missed the ramp there as a full send opportunity comes in play.
No. That was tactical. He saw HP. He was like, no. Can't be doing that now. I've got to make sure I lay some fire down for my boys that are coming over who can make the jump. Not just one, but the second does go in. Don't even bother to pick him up. They're like, who are you, mate? You can't even get yourself over. He might find the over. They put up on 69 as one and 2 go down straight away. The final 2 from those guys, and one of them was the one who was unfortunate with the rotation, shall we say, but Daddy is able to hold up, but he is now on the outside zone. Commentator's cursed, unfortunately, as he do manage to pick the camera at exactly the right time.
I think he's really going to appreciate the fact that you called that a tactical insertion.
He's alive. He's alive. It's working, right?
I won't knock it. I won't knock it. Daddy, well played. This is exactly, you're getting the points. You have a tough rotation. You're the last member alive, so even though it looks like it may not have been the best play, hats off, dude. That one's
It was a play. It was a play, CC. Exactly. It was a play.
This is what we're learning. Tego is a learning field right now, okay? This is do's and don'ts. I don't want to put that in either category right now, so we'll let that one be debatable.
It's a play. It's a play. STK is now getting the third party action. Look at this. He's still alive. The play is still working. It wasn't a mistake. He didn't miss the judge in any way, shape, or form. He might push the shots down. Harry Badger down for 2. So having to get the reload on. Now as the M4 just running out the clip. Does see, unfortunate player though, as Honey Badger taking opportunity to pop the smoke run away. Greg. Didn't say Gregory, he noticed that one that time. He's going to get involved in the fight as well. Give his boy a little bit of backup now as the nades, though, do come up. They find the player, though, from HP as they have pushed themselves back towards the car, the McLaren in sight. But both of these teams, both of these players have no information. It's a bit of a guessing game. We're seeing the util now go up as the car does explode. And now the third party actions coming in from Honey Badger. He's down for one shot. It'd be unfortunate if the player from HP opts to stand up and takes the shots, because you kind of feel like it's PUBG timing. But HP might just be trying to lay low here. But if you want to find something to hide behind, I wouldn't sit behind the car.
Yeah, honestly, it's working. You see the car sometimes, though, and you never check. Once you've checked the car once, you never go to look back again once you realize there's not a player there. So, honestly, I think this is actually one of the smarter plays for him to kind of make it work. Because, again, you see the car there. You're not really thinking, okay, somebody's rotating around the car. But there he is. Big Tony pops, or Emmy pops up, gets the knock. Honey Badger absolutely clueless to what just happened. And Emmy inside the car should just get out of Dodge right now. But now he's stuck to fight the remaining members there of the Barrel Tigers showdown. And that is exactly what he's going to get, is a showdown with the remaining player here.
GG. Circle is not great. But it's what to be expected. It's what to be expected, right? He's just tied himself down, and Soniqs has just found himself in the middle, and we've got 26 people left alive, right? We're about to hit the point pot when it comes down to placement. 8 teams. Once we hit 8 teams, we start making a point pot. But I feel like Soniqs is now going to maybe turn up a gear as the nade lands right in the middle of the squad. How did he only get one knock there? How?
second, the third, maybe the fourth. I don't know. Dates just keep rolling in. Just one more to finish him off here tonight with no HP. I don't know how it didn't happen, Mark, but it looked like it was a game over for me. And
oh, LG stole it.
Just play dead.
That's the play dead as LG now has to come back into zone, but LG got STK on one side and Soniqs on the other side because they're able to take the initial shots though, take the action involved, and LG find themselves in a very, very difficult dip now to get out of. STK and Soniqs maybe teaming up to a degree. Tickleton hasn't got that memo as he wants to get a couple more kills on the board as he's laying the shots down, but every knock though that comes in from STK stolen though from the Soniqs team.
Just reading and ripping through the branches, through the trees, non-stop, down to 6 teams, phase 5. This is the most intense game I think we've seen out of the first 2 Aaron Gale matches, where we've kind of waited all the way till the end matches here. This time around, nobody's wasting any time here.
No, Penta's down. I thought he was going to laser him, but he lagged out. No way.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the second time we've seen it live now, where another lag out has cost a player in the end game here, and this time a full 4-man team, now down to 3 off the unfortunate call off there.
Do you know what? One thing that will provide is information. At LG, they were fighting to get through, and there is a player left alive here. Liberty goes down, and Soniqs is now starting to roll the kills in. A bit of a powerhouse now. 5 teams remain. Our Dragons, LG, Soniqs, and our STK with a little sprinkle of 69 out on the east-hand side. This is going to be an ending to watch. I feel like Soniqs might have shifted a gear. But have they shifted a high enough gear to take the remainder of the team? But let's chat the side that one. Our Dragons, they got the north side zone. Soniqs being blessed again as it rolls back. We've seen LG find a new home. They did pick up a nice freebie of STK.
LG cannot seem to stay out of the vehicles. Everywhere they rotate seems to be congested by some other team. Finally, I think inside this most center part of that zone, they do find some sort of refuge to try to buy some time for right now, but it is just LG. STK ready to get into it here with the Soniqs. Again, after the unfortunate lag out right there, it's down to 3 members. Party with 3 kills, leading his team here, waiting for the right amount, or excuse me, the right moment to pop out of the TIG there. And unfortunately, not gonna. And there's LG back inside the vehicle along with M762 this time. He's going for the Shack plays, but unfortunately shot out, beat to it. No, he's gonna take the opportunity, but in the meantime, from the backside, H-Win denies any further movement from LG there. 4 teams remain. The top 4, Soniqs, the Tiger Barrel Showdown, 69 again inside the top, and STK with the 3 members coming into our final top 4 teams here.
It is a bit disappointing for the boys because they did lose one after a good play towards a bit of PUBG. You've been PUBG'd, as I like to say. But a good zone. Could have pulled back towards Palace. I've not had one. I've had a couple that were higher. So actually looking forward to how this one ends out. Cowboy now taking the shots. If you haven't seen already, I did upload a short today about Cowboy and this team. So go hit yourself up on YouTube. Give us some love there. Yeah, a lot more content coming out here. Cowboy goes down for 1. You are seeing they are trying to get Greg back up as the smokes now do get deployed using the handheld smokes, but the shots though coming from behind, able to turn around and get a knock, and 69 is only maybe a 6 or 9 as the final player. Again, Mexican AI, the final player still standing for this team yet again. He's going to deny his own.
Oh, he's denying, yep.
He's denying.
Oh, no, he's lagged out. He's lagged out.
No way.
He's lagged out again.
No.
Yep.
He's back. No, he did lag, but he's back.
Okay, cool. Yeah, as I say, that looked a little dangerous for a second there.
Oh, mate. Right. Do we have another one? No way. We have another one.
Especially on 69. That was the one who was lost the player last time in the end here. So good to see he's able to recover. May see a second place there out of that solo snake. We'll see if he's able to make his way in behind M762, the solo player there. At least it's not a 2v1 situation. Once he gets that knock, should be able to flush it out. But unfortunately, Mime from the distance provides a little bit of support and cover for Cowboy there. And that's going to take the final member out of 69. Bring us down to 3 teams. There's Alo looking to continue to move up. And Shrimsy holding and regrouping up with the rest of the Soniqs here. We've got 3v3 for these guys and the full 4 of Soniqs. But M76, or excuse me, the Tiger, the the Dragon Tigers, the Barrels, the Showdown.
Showdown.
They're coming. They're here. They're not going to stop the force, and they want to be the first one in the fight here. So M762 is going to get that knock, but unfortunately lost 2 in the trade. Now STK looking to reset here at the top side of the mountain.
Yeah, Soniqs will try and wrap around on this third party action though. They do get a quick kill confirmed. Takes the P90 out, but they had a P90 and an MG. Oh, Adam though, unfortunately, just missing. They are able to get the res now. STK want nothing to do with this. They are going to push their way back round towards Cowboy. They want to take more of a zone. If they get caught on this low ground, it could be very, very dangerous for them. They've got to continue to wrap, or they need to dig their heels in the sand, as we are seeing. Good to know. He's chasing. Nade does go out, and it will extend to that first smoke. A bit of a decoy smoke, maybe, but it'd be enough to maybe get the information that they are coming round. 3v1v2. We know Tago, and sometimes the numbers don't always count if they can catch him out. Blue Zone Nade, though, as we are seeing Soniqs Tiggleton though, trying to figure out exactly where the players are. That is pretty much pinpoint accurate to the point that he should be able to push the player out slightly to be able to get as much information as possible. He does. That'd be enough now with the nade as it gets fully sent over to the tree. As he's going to try and get the med on, it's not going to be enough. And STK, they go down to their final player. And off we go. Cowboy is making a little bit of a round robin in this one, as he's gone for a full wrap. And maybe coming behind our Soniqs team.
This is Soniqs playing with their food. They let Cowboy survive in the fight, shot past him in order to kill the Mexican, and then came back to now focus their attention back on Cowboy here. I mean, Soniqs is just running through. They lost 1 in the final fight here, but are just, again, controlling this end zone here. We're going to see what Cowboy's got in store. He's doing the right approach. He's coming up behind the Soniqs here, but the chances that one of the members don't have their head turned here on the swivel is very, very unlikely. And now they're starting to realize there's only one place left for him to be. All eyes this direction. 14 looking to be 15 kills here. Shots come out from Tiger Barrel Showdown. Nothing getting in line there. As again, he's going to cook up a nade to hope for the best. Still nobody to connect there as another flush comes out. That just trying to buy the smoke. And there comes 3 Sonic members. Shrimsy gets the final match there to put Soniqs at 15 kills, 25 points, and another chicken dinner.
Yeah, another chicken dinner. That is worth mentioning, because back chicken dinners there, mate, is a dangerous combo for a 2-day event, a 12 games. We are just going through halfway now onto our first day, and Soniqs have just stolen 2 winner chicken dinners. Remember, they were only on 2 or 4 kills quite early on, and they were able to get the momentum, that gear shift that I mentioned about really well. They kind of bounced around the zone and took the fire. I was a bit worried though with LG and STK on that south side, but with LG getting caught between a firing squad of those two, they kind of sent it off, and it would maybe gave Soniqs a bit too much freedom of movement on that southwest corner.
Yeah, hands down, that was it. And like I said, it's the timing that it was everything there for the Soniqs, waiting for the time to get into that next phase. By the time that phase 5 it actually came through, they put themselves not only in a great position, but we're also able to gain information surrounding them. And on Tago, I'm throwing information seems to be the key. Placement, you're going to put yourself into this compound or into this, let's say just little key cheeky spot. It's not working the same way, that I guess the information, that certain things are. So there's just a better way, I think, to play. And I think that right there is the way to play on Tago right there. So again, developing the play styles here, that is one great opportunity in order to kind of put into the bag right there. Again, we've seen the car play, again, kind of being challenged, something a little bit different that seems a little unorthodox, but it works. And not for everybody, but for certain players, you're going to find your way in there.
Control aggression, I think, is the best way to sum it up. It does feel like a controlled aggression. But let's take a controlled break, as we are going to go now towards our final map of this evening. We've got 3 Miramars coming up. Sit back, relax. If you haven't already, do us a favor, give us a bit of love on YouTube, as we are trying to push as much content as I mentioned over there. It's a brand new channel. Would love to get it towards 1K at the end of the year. Massive love, obviously, that way. And loads of content coming out. We've already queued up a few bits and pieces. Anyway, quick break. I'll see you guys in a second.
God design, 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 God design.
I know girls who quit to throw on the makeup. A couple of them overcoming the breakup. Never settle in life for the fake love, cause you gon' pay a pretty price from the pay stub. I know a couple dudes looking for approval, doing anything mundane than usual. Look, homie, your self-worth is crucial. You sowing seeds, you might as well make them fruitful. I'ma keep it truthful, tell you what I mean. True religion is literal, God in your genes. I always felt different and odd as I seen. I realized I'm gifted and God is the king. Created many things, put the stars in their place. Then he turned around and he put me in a race. All glory to God, now I swim in the grace. I see his fingerprints in the winds and the waves. I don't know how he think of designs like Tinker, Hatfield, at will. Create things only his mouth spills. Word to many, yo, I had to borrow that line. I swallow my pride, I'm humbly the false design. Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Who told you? Who told you? Who told you? Who told you? You are God design, God design. God design, God design. God design, God design. God design, God design.
Creation doesn't exist without a creator. There is no design without a designer. And the God we served designed you. Designed.
God design, God design you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're in for an incredible night. Oh, we're taking it up a notch. I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. Wes and Mike TZ coming all strong. Straight into the end zone. Hey, be sure you stick around because we're only getting warmed up.
I kept the faith, keeping the faith. I know you got it. Yeah, out of my way, give me some space, just family around me. Yeah, putting in work, won't say a word till they announce it. Hey, determined to get it, I'm focused and driven. What you know about it? Thanks to the sun. Hey, you see the melanin? Yeah, we just begun. Yeah, in my element. Came through clean looking, like a president. Martinelli porn, we celebrating with elegance. Yes, it's for the women you see by my side. She gave me reason to fight. Yes, mama, we made it. I know that you proud. Dad always told me stay true to the route. It's for the veal, golden the teal. Kids walk around with the golden they grill. Told you I'm focused, I never lost hope, and I'm giving them something they feel. I keep it trill, ain't no counterfeit. How does it feel if you got it? It's still who we started with. Put down the seed, now it's harvesting. We make the art, then we market it, all of it. I kept the faith, keeping the faith. I know you got it. Yeah, out of my way, give me some space, just family around me. Hey, putting in work, won't say a word until they announce it. Hey, determined to get it, I'm focused and driven. What you know about it? I'm just working on my trophy speech. My trophy speech. I'm just working on my trophy speech. My trophy speech. This for the fam, this for the home team. Yeah. I'm just working on my trophy speech.
I started making a list of some names that I gotta mention when I'm getting my trophy. Lot of folk waiting with me in the gym. I was shooting around, I was trying to be Kobe. No time for the phony, don't act like you know me. Got God on my side, I can stand on my lonely. Been on my ground so that wifey and I could just live a sweet life where the Zach and Cody. She wasn't there and I wrote your name down and I made a mistake, gotta scribble it out. Snakes trying to slither in now. The ones that ain't put in, been wanna reap benefits, they want some clout. That ain't what I'm about. I'm moving different and they moving fast. They gon' be tripping when my name announced. And the winner is Mike TZ. Congratulations. Cause I kept the faith, keeping the faith. I know you got it. Out of my way, give me some space, just family around me. Put it in work, won't say a word until they announce it. Determined to get it, I'm focused and driven, so what you know about it? Yeah, I'm just working on my trophy speech.
My trophy speech.
I'm just working on my trophy speech.
My trophy speech.
See, this for the fam, this for the home team. I'm just working on my trophy speech.
I want to know if you want to take it slow. Oh, hop up on my jet and roll to Tokyo. When they what you get. Peep that gram and see me flex. Don't hit me with those green tags.
Hey guys, and welcome back. CC is also just back in time. If I just turn his microphone on now, he's back in the room as he had to quickly go for a cheeky run, but the time ran out as we had to get the teams back into lobby. We patted him down, we checked him out. It's Miramar. I do like this format. I will be honest, I do prefer the 2-2-2. So we see 2 Erangel, 2 Tego, and 2 Miramar. But I do like this format. This is the format PUBG is going with, where we see 2 of one. 1 Tego, 3 of the other. So tomorrow it'll be the other way around. We'll start with 2 Miramars, we'll do our Tego, and then we'll split across to Erangel. For me, though, I like the sort of big map, small map, big map style combo, but that's just my opinion. Anyway, Miramar's coming up. It's our Sandy Shores. The players have been checked. We'll have a quick look at the leaderboard, but you can go check the leaderboard at any time by typing !Twire in chat. But we'll see you in the next round. Round number 4 is coming up. Two, 1. Here we go. It's map number 4. It's our first Miramar. We got 3 of them, as I said, and the first one comes with a northwest CC, kind of to an east, but yet again, we can't go, hey, it's going to be a northeast, because like I saw yesterday, the zone can shift, and it shifted a little bit further on that Miramar map for me.
I'm hoping we see a nice central Miramar standardized zone here. Again, give everybody that nice comfort zone. We're not going to be too cheeky. We're not going to be too caster-like. And we're going to get everything into it where you get a little bit of a chance to feel the teams out on Miramar. Then, match number 5, I'm going to be CC, and then I'm going to request a very challenging zone so we can see what these teams got. But for right now, we're hoping for this nice zone. Everybody's got their land. It doesn't look like we have any potential crazy hot shots. A little bit in Minas over there. It looks like teams potentially going to go over there, as well as in Monte Nuevo. We've got a little bit of a huddled up group over there, but very, very clean drops here so far. No intense action, and the circle will pop, but it's going to be to the east, leaving the island in, but unfortunately not enough for us to get excited about there.
Not the other islands, so I don't think we're going to see a double bubble where we get the islands. We get that love, but yeah, I like this. I like this zone. See, I'll be honest. I like this zone. Why? Because we could go junkyard, or just on the outside junkyard. I love this section here. I do like when we get the trench, the canyon in between, because
good call.
we get those that high ground fighting, right? And players stay down low, and then obviously they work into the action a bit later. I also like it bouncing a bit north. I do like this hillside. I think it's a good style of Miramar that we can see, and a good style of Miramar though. And what would be wrong with that? But without a Monty, if like to kick off and camp off again off the rip. These guys and girls need to decide. Hey, it's a 12-player event. Let's go all 6 away by flying off the rip. It is a bit of a 50-50 chance of who lands on what gear. Now, admittedly, the M249 is a bit of a cheeky bit of gear to be shooting with, but you're still down a player now, and you're taking a fight off the rip. It is a paid event, so there's no hot drop landing protection, none of that. It's up for money. Money is on the line.
And that's exactly what they're playing for here. Cam just unfortunately needs to regroup before this day is over. If they're looking to put themselves on that other side of the leaderboard here, just unfortunately, they're finding the fights early on. They're just not on the right side of the fight. And this time around, it looks like as a full group, OJ just scouting out, running the outer edges of Monty here, trying to find 1 or 2 members here, but as a group here. This is the most I think I've ever seen a team grouped up, pushing in like a straight SWAT team right now, knocking the doors,
This is
clearing
Navy
the angles.
SEALs, bro.
This is it. I mean, as a look at the, oh, that M249 had he spotted him out sooner, could have ripped all them players down right there, but a little bit too late. Great effort. And unfortunately, continuing along in that train, all of the OJ members now pressing along here. This is absolutely entertaining to watch here.
It is Navy SEALs at its best, mate, as they are stack up and go, Cam on the full retreat, as they are rolling through. Can they get anything? No, but they can get a knock straight away. The player on the roof might be a bit of a difficult ankle to hold. He's not moved here, Slick. So as long as they come rolling out and rolling past, for me, the other player, Slump, for me, needs to take some shots. Needs to take the attention of the SWAT team and force them over. But Slump is also holding an angle here. So a bit of a trap is set. It looks like they might have heard him on the roof as the utility of the nade comes out. And those shots, though, do come out. So they definitely know he's here. And the SWAT team has now got the next nades. Are ready to go. Nades are going up and over, but the first one not too good, but the second one nearly gets the knock. They really need him to push up the other side, but we are seeing stuff. He's getting involved. It's a he turns and gets the knock.
DBS comes out the door, knock, knock, breach, and clear. OJ comes through. Crayshow Cams putting on a show with a little bit of a sneak attack in there, and you love to see it there. Great little hot drop there in Monte to start off our first Miramar match.
I love NA. I love all you guys and girls. You play PUBG different. You're built different out this neck of the woods. Jeez Louise, SWAT attack came in hard, and here comes a full send on the vehicle. And he nearly gets the knock as well. Jeez Louise.
Got Rello there, Buster. That would have been game over. I would have threw my controller right there. That's it. Somebody take this.
I'm out. I am out. It is 2 o'clock in the morning for me, and this craziness I just can't keep up with.
This is absolutely chaos inside. Now the second fight for our first match of Miramar here. Ethan says, you know what? I think we've done enough. I don't know if I'm going to be able to take on all 4 LG members.
Sod this. I'm out. Go, lad. Go. Come on. It's a 12. Go, lad.
I said he was thinking about it, and then I said there must be comms coming in telling him to play otherwise, because again, Elevate's had a relatively good day, and it looks like, yeah, for now he's going to back off and just play replacement.
Not here. Of all places, LG, when they get outside, they're like, there's a shack on the other side of the road. There's the last guy. He's going to be in there. When LG figure out there's no one else left, maybe. Mate, NA, you guys and girls, you're built different. I'm going to say that again because that was insane. SWAT to a full kamikaze car in, nearly tucking the player in from LG from Elevate, mate. As they elevated that car to another level. Let's chat about Zone though after that madness as we get 2 seconds to take a quick breath. There's a couple of opportunities here. It might come back down to the Impala fields. We're seeing Forge go with a nice 2-2 split, right? I like that. But they are also thinking it might go onto that north side. We do see it end up towards this sort of LG section. It does play into this corner here as well, and a lot of teams taking the high ground. There is a lot of high ground, and with this sort of south section, there's some high field or high ground just outside Impala, where we've seen the parachute, the emergency pickup, really put people on top of the rocks. And for those that watch me on the PUBG channel for the rotation, we had that interview with Twisted Minds, who won that one and got the PGC points for that. Torden's had the interview and he said, hey, actually, I don't like the emergency pickup because I used to be one of a few players that knew how to get up to these places, and he classified them as my rocks. So he's sharing his rocks now with other people. I don't think he's quite happy with it, but I do like this style of zone because it does offer the capabilities of going high up in that sort of section. Have they shot a flare into the corner? They have, haven't they?
I'll say this flare, yeah, going off, providing unnecessary light there, but another fight for Soniqs here, this time with STK. And very, very early on, the 4th member from Soniqs is a little bit disengaged coming in. H-Win should be joining the fight here relatively soon. But right now, we've got 3 members of STK, 1 already currently down. It's Pretty Curdy still feeling the hurt there in the back. Stun comes through, trying to flush the push out, but it's just not ready to come through yet, as no member from the Sonics wanting to step through the door here, but H-Win has grouped up, so all 4 members are now involved in this fight there. Halo looking to provide some more smokes, just trying to push this fight as slowly as he can. Adam down next to no HP. The DBS finds one, but is traded out. Then comes in the double barrel. Oh my lord, comes in for one, finds the barrel for the second, and STK. That's a good fight, but Sonics is not about to let that happen. Put up in the corner there. Friendly fire joins in there. Realize Sonics has already had a little bit of a fight going on there. Sharp shot does get one, but also knocks his own player there as he shoots for H-Win there. Now the res comes through for Tig. The nade is inside the door, but it's a little bit too far away from Tig to get the knock there. Some more smokes coming out, trying to again provide this compound with as much cover for the time being as it can. Now looking for the lethals to go out the door. That flare is still burning.
It's like a magnet for teams. Good play from Friendly Fire because they understood they could capitalize up on Soniqs, though, as they saw they were engaged in the fight and they had a knock. Good play. Unfortunately, though, Friendly Fire didn't run over their own player, but they were able to clean it up as that flare was a beacon of light for third-party action. Look how clear that whole section is. Friendly Fire, though, is on the furthest point. We've lost a couple of teams, and one of them, though, is Soniqs already. 13 teams remain, 48 players left alive, and we've not even hit phase number 1. This is NA. Love it.
There it is, phase 1 finally coming to the close. Where are we heading? And it's right up top, actually taking all the water out straight towards the junkyard, though. That's leaving some good opportunity there to get that finish that we're looking for, potentially get in this area. As you can see, M762 starting to take control of the hillside here, playing more the top side again, playing that Miramar terrain to their advantage here. Again, they had some great games here early on. Match number 3 there, looking to potentially take that dinner, and now setting themselves up here for some good early rotations, gaining a lot of information. And now it looks like chasing 76 in this area here, maybe back to the compound here, potentially getting them right where they want them there. We do see Greg.GG actually a little bit further away from the fight there, and we'll just have to see if he does regroup there as HP sits up in a little decent combo right outside of Mina's, and maybe actually heading back towards Mina's now with that phase 2 shift here. It looks like they're going to gain a little bit of control there, start to extend that reach a little bit further into the zone.
You know why they're doing this as well? Because they've seen Soniqs go out. They took game number 1, right? Friendly Fire. Dragon Tiger Barrel Showdown would be like, we're top tier team. This team is a top tier team, right? We're waiting for them for the main event. But Danny goes for a full send in on the car, just getting away with it as well. So this now for me is Dragon's opportunity to take a chicken dinner. I can see it now, even before we hit phase number 2. For me, it is them going, this is us. This is a potential. Now we can work our magic and potentially get a chicken dinner on the belt. They can't allow the big boys to get away with it.
I mean, you'd think they'd have other plans for sure. You'd think that there's other things that'd be going on. Ooh.
Yeah, hope is on the way. And we gon' be the change. Cause we are unrestrained. Yeah.
I'm not alone, I'm never alone. My family is with me, wherever I go. Let's be the change that we wanna see. We're taking a stand for what we believe.
Yeah. When I'm in doubt, I'ma pray it out. Believe in that name, so I say it loud. School system wanna take it out. They wonder why no one behaving now. These are days for my generation. Feel like we living in revelation. We gotta share it, that's salvation. A world with no savior, devastation. What is a voice if you never use it? Never use it. Don't abuse it. I am not writing for your amusement. Deeper than rap, this is more than music. I know what teams who keep cutting their wrists. How can I flee when I'm taking a risk? If we ever gonna deal with it, gotta stop pretending and be real with it and be real with it. It's time to unite, yeah. Hey, it's time to unite. This world is so dark, together we shine like 4th of July. Hey, if you stand for nothing, then you'll fall for anything. We will not fall by any means. I promise you, put that on everything.
I'm not alone, I'm never alone. My family is with me, wherever I go. Let's be the change that we wanna see. We're taking a step.
Once you start to seek, yes, you will find. God was really there the whole time. In every season, yes, He is by my side. Discover. Discover. Once you start to seek, yes, you will find. God was really there the whole time. In every season, yes, He is by my side. Discover. Discover.
Once you start to seek, you'll find. God was really there the whole time. In every season, He is by my side. Discover, discover. I know I'm in your head. I know I'm in your head. But she's laying in your bed. I bet you wish you're out of bed instead. I know I'm in your head. I could go all night long, singing to every song. I know you love it when I work it. I could go all night long, singing to every song. I know you love it when I work it. I know I'm in your head. I know I'm in your head. But she's laying in your bed. I bet you wish I was there instead. I know I'm in your head. 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 But she's laying in your bed. I bet you wish I was there instead.
Who told you? Who told you? Who told you? Who told you? You are God design, 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 God design.
Never blend in like camouflage. Know your whole life's in the hand of God. Always kept it real, couldn't stand the fraud. We playing in different fields, I never ran alone. First things first, let me break the news. I don't really even got a name to prove. I'ma win the game, I ain't came to lose. Cause me and God tight like bathing suits. Afraid of who? Fear ain't part of my composure. And this right here is for the culture. You watching innovation at its finest. We been fly, swag, live our own pilot. Hold up, I don't think they follow. My dad is an artist, I feel like Pablo. And if that's the case, I'm a walking Picasso. Throw me on the track and I'ma ride like a fossil. Who told you?
Who told you?
I mean, who told you can't do it?
Who told you?
Who told you you're not fly enough?
Who told you? You are God design, 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 God design.
I know girls who quit to throw on the makeup. A couple of them overcoming the breakup. Never settle in life for the fake love. Cause you gon' pay a pretty price from the pay stub. I know a couple dudes looking for approval. Doing anything mundane and usual. Look, homie, your self-worth is crucial. You sowing seeds, you might as well make them fruitful. I'ma keep it truthful, tell you what I mean. True religion is literal, God in your genes. I always felt different and odd as I seen. I realized I'm gifted and God is the king. Created many things, put the stars in their place. Then he turned around and he put me in a race. All glory to God, now I swim in the grace. I see his fingerprints in the winds and the waves. I don't know how he think of designs like Tinker, Hatfield, Antwill. Create things, only his mouth spills. Word a minute, yo, I had to borrow that line. I swallow my pride, I'm humbly the father's design. Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Who told you? Who told you? Who told you? Who told you? You are God design, 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 God design.
Creation doesn't exist without a creator. There is no design without a designer. And the God we served designed you. Designed
God design you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're in for an incredible night. Oh, we're taking it up a notch. I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. Wes and Mike TZ coming all strong. Straight into the end zone. Hey, be sure you stick around because we're only getting warmed up.
I kept the faith, keeping the faith. I know you got it. Yeah, out of my way, give me some space, just family around me. Yeah, putting in work, won't say a word till they announce it. Hey, determined to get it, I'm focused and driven. What you know about it? Thanks to the sun. Hey, you see the melanin? Yeah, we just begun. Yeah, in my element. Came through clean looking, like a president. Martinelli porn, we celebrating with elegance. Yes, it's for the women you see by my side. She gave me reason to fight.
Hey guys, and welcome back. Unfortunately, by the time that we got ourselves back in, we was unable to, I suppose, get the feedback up, etc., and get back into the mix of things. But it did go down to HP versus LG at the end. It happened just on the outside of minus. Apologies. Yeah, I actually do think it's a memory leak on PUBG, personally. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. If it does happen again, we've got CC who's going to fire up our feed, and we're gonna grab his feed. So we're going to split across over the two. But hey, we're back. It's game number 5. LG took game number 4, and I need to update the number, which is now done. Our flight path, though, is a northeast down towards a southwest. Hopefully, we get to see some more crazy action.
And here it is. So this will be the first time we get to see Miramar. Hopefully it starts off just as spicy as the last match. As again, we've seen two teams basically get into it off of the first few minutes here. And yet again, here it looks like we have another potential hot drop here heading in that direction. Same two teams, Cam and O Jeepers, looking to maybe get some revenge back on this team here, as OJ, with the SWAT team momentum, went into Monte Nuevo full-fledged and took down Cam. This time, I don't think they're going to make it all the way there. Maybe a fight just short of Monte Nuevo to see who does get to fight for that loot. As I say that, a couple players maybe kind of, borrowing their shoot. 2 players for OJ take away the compound, and the remaining start to fly towards Monty. Sneak attack looking to get a nice knock. Does rain one of the bullets there, but he doesn't unfortunately get the knock. Looking for another one. Gets some damage, but still not able to find the knock here, as majority of the players now landing, contesting for the vehicle. OJ's in the vehicle with Cam. Cam is going to lose 1 and 2. Going for the hit. Hits. Going for a secondary. We've got 1 player in. Could have a gun. Does have a Vector. And, ooh, now we've got 1 member for OJ. He hops out. He's feeling ballsy. And he's going to go for it. But unfortunately, that Vector ready already, loaded, and gets that first knock. Unfortunately, for OJ, they are going to lose Morns right there. Sneak attack. Trying to go back and maybe get in some revenge here early on. I think it would have been best if Morns had just regrouped with the rest of the team. I know he was trying to get the vehicle, trying to make some good key plays right there, but unfortunately, with 3 members of Cam, whether 2 of them don't have guns or not, unfortunately, you're just outmatched right there.
Yeah, it was interesting. He kept that play on. He kept that trying to drive him around. I suppose he didn't send the car straight into that sort of shop front that we saw the player in, because he might have got the knock. The only one of them that was able to get I suppose a weapon, but he tried to drive around, get the 2. He did get a good hit on 1, but not enough really to knock him. As a result, they went down some numbers. Now OJ, I'm really split now. I'm a bit worried for them. The only luck they've got is the zone does play their way. And again, people, apologies for the slight tech issues. I hate updates, personally. I hate when updates happen, when PUBG crashed like that, but he's trying to figure a way out. And yeah, sorry, I did update the friendly fire logo. It was the last thing on my agenda. I really wanted to make sure that we got back in time. And if I didn't get back in time, to make sure everything else was set up and working, aka sound, and you should be able to hear me and CC back on form. Thank God for a production PC. That's all I'm going to say, mate.
And back at it again, saves the day. At least gives you guys some more entertainment still to watch here. And again, yeah, just apologies for the PUBG things that just tend to happen behind the scenes. That, it's not only us. It seems to be quite a few, who've been in this kind of similar situation. And, it is what it is when you're running, again, on non-event servers. Running on servers of our own here, trying to make the best of what we have right now. And honestly, seeing what we have it's going pretty well, Mark Basse, with what we've been given here. The lagouts we've seen, we're still able to come back here for match number 5.
Don't jinx me, mate.
Never.
Look, if it does get bad, we will make a call to pull it. But hopefully we never will. And please bear in mind, if we do take the option to pull it, it's not because we can't be bothered. It's because we are having problems, and we'd rather sometimes just go for a reset and come back tomorrow. It's a 2-day event, so we will be back tomorrow. And if the technical issues are too great, we will try our best to find a solution for everyone to ensure that we get back with a nice, clean feed, and obviously to try and provide the best content for all the viewership out there. As we are seeing now, our mortars coming in. I was about to say, it's surely not going for the compounds, but it is going for those guys. As a bit of a guesstimation, all 3 a bit too far away. One thing I see also, the mortars, they are very loud. You can hear them coming in. CC, you are talking. I can see you, but you have muted yourself. So I know that's not a technical issue on my side. Your
No,
audio has
sorry.
come back. Stop scaring me, CC.
I'm just gonna test you. I'm keeping you on your toes, man. We're making sure we're getting.
Mate,
through
you made
this.
me panic. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I started looking at the site. Has it happened again?
Negative. No, we are good. I just had to mute. We are back at it though. Rotating right in front of us here. Looks like clean shots coming out from Lucas. Trying to find Blade rotating here. Last member does make it clean away. The rest of EF is actually sitting here at the top, looking to rain some shots down of their own. But still not able to find the knock, but the tire does come clean. So it looks like Play is going to lose their last member. He's not giving up yet. Still inside the vehicle. Fool sending it forward. Not knocked out of the vehicle yet. How, I don't know, but that is a miracle that he made it out of that situation. Power of not giving up right there. Don't stop. And this man is able to make it free and clean away from the fight there.
He was very, very lucky. Lost all momentum on that car. And that car, do you know what? I will give it the benefit is that it held up. It held its form nicely. Most teams, give or take, are finding themselves a nice little home here, as and they are situating themselves in and around the compound, in and around the area. As I just want to make sure the bot is back up. I forgot to put the bot back on, so you guys can have a look at the Twire leaderboard. That will be coming very shortly.
And we see a couple of teams here making that rotation in. Waiting to get these fights. It is kind of very, very doled out compared to the last match of Miramar, which everybody seemed, again, to hit the ground running. But, hey, it is what it is. We're going to see what we come back with. Very, very plain circle compared to what we had last time. Again, the potential island zone, potential Impala, potential junkyard off that first shift. And this time around, it's a very, very, we're going to call it basic circle here. As again, most of the teams know how to play this. We see a lot of San Martin upper edge finish this year. I like to see where LBR is playing. A very, very good spot for them to sit, get in the high ground, sitting themselves at a level where I know they're going to be comfortable. And there's Elevate making some unfortunate mistakes, almost losing the vehicle, but will continue to rotate past, driving actually towards Picado. Very, very ballsy move for them to drive through.
Very.
But, you know, we'll see what if that pays off for them or not, but not something that I would recommend my team to do. However, they're going to make it clean. Nobody in Picado to do damage, so looks like it to be a good call from the IGL there.
Yeah, no one's there, so they have played away slightly. Elevator going to get a free blessing. If it does play back itself, actually, that could be a blessing. That means they might be able to get in to a final zone. But I do like that sort of North Power Grid side. I like it. Look, I've seen recently, especially EU, that it has recalled very much back to San Martin quite a lot of times. I had some wonderful San Martin style endings, not full endings there. In San Martin, but definitely in and around that area. So in a town which I'll be watching on this one, don't think it will come that way. I do think it will play south, but we have to wait and see. It's phase number 1. 16 teams still remain, as we do have 59 players left on the board or the battleground as we speak.
And now I'm looking to see these teams a little bit more widespread. We've seen quite a few teams start to get that grouped up momentum. You know, as again, that was like the Tego. We've seen, you know, widespread on Erngale, and then we're back to Miramar here, where we're kind of sitting again in this more tight cluster, a couple of 2-2 splits, but a lot more of the teams here. Again, in this zone, you kind of know where you're going to go. You know where you want to play. You know where your team's strengths and your weaknesses are. And right now it's, again, waiting on this phase 1 gamble of where the phase 2 shift is going to go. Is it going to head up towards San Martin? Do we get that Monte Nuevo west side shift, or are we going to, you know, stay centered up right there in Power Grid? A lot of questions here, you know, to be asked, obviously, for phase 1.
You seen him.
He spotted out Ice Tech trying to climb the mountain, and that's the unfortunate part about being able to climb the mountains when you can use the E-parachute, is you have to worry about getting spotted, and there he is. Should be getting clean. That one's going to go to Lemon right there, and that's one more kill. Actually, just one kill, I should say, on the board there for those guys.
Yeah, good, strong little peak from him. They are seeing the push, though, from the team now, as they are M249 stack up. Triple OG refusing to let a player go down without a fight. Molly and Nades are cooked and awaiting. Squeezy will lay low and just try and ensure he makes his yellow tracksuit camouflage in towards the train. I think Triple OG has seen him. Molly goes right on top of him, pinpoint accuracy, and with that and an M249, you feel like Lemon Squeezy might be making a bit of a M&T after that one, but the rest of the TG guys will take the fight as the zone does push back towards that San Martin.
And again, we do push away from Monty. Power Grid set it up. San Martin, it's a great place to sit and play from. Again, the play route from LBR sitting in a great spot as well. I like that. I wish Ice Tech didn't get caught out right there because they're sitting in a great spot to play from this zone. However, sitting as a 3-man, sometimes the power red numbers on the older maps like Aaron Gale and Miramar, where you have such not set zones but expected zones and expected play styles, the power red numbers does tend to take advantage at the end there. And through San Martin, got one team rotating through. I don't know how well that's going to end for them there, but again, another team deciding to full send through one of the more popular cities here. And again, that's just a risk that maybe in the bigger events you might not see, but here in the 2 days, opportunities are being taken, and it's actually LG to stop in San Martin to take control there of the 2 apartment buildings right across the street, kind of separating and standing their ground there now with HP, and then Liberate still over to the top with eyes down onto both these teams in San Martin.
Yeah, Liberate obviously in a better position out of both of these, especially with the zone coming down. And been blessed a little bit though with a drop. I was about to say, guess what's in the drop, but it has just pinged up as the MK in hand. MK and M249. That's a little bit of a dangerous combo, but more of a dangerous combo though is to run across Soniqs that are holding on the south side here. These guys took game number 2 and game number 3. They were stopped in their tracks though, and obviously LG did take that last game. We're game number 5 or 6. It is a 2-day event, so we do have another 6 games that'll be 7 up for tomorrow, and they are going to be money up for grabs. Looks like the shots they're coming out. There's not just one, but there's a second go straight down as he made quick work, but that
Let's go, Shribs.
come from the information on the high ground. They were pinpoint accuracy. I wouldn't be surprised to see if there was a pin on top of both those players.
I mean, if not, I'm about to say his magnetism to those players was dead on. Love to see it. Good shots coming out. Open some tension here. Dragon Tiger Barrel Showdown getting into it here at the power grid here, trying to fight for control of the power grid. Again, it looks like they're holding on to Elevate, who had just left Picado, took the dangerous rotation, now takes the risky rotation to go inside power grid. And again, on the pull-up, great read. They do lose one, but somehow they're still coexisting for now with the Tigers and looking to hopefully maybe at least take 1 or 2 players down. As I say that, they are going to get It's Your Cowboy down. And looks like that is the return favor they're going to need. However, that's only 1 knock. And there is the phase to shift, still keeping Power Grid and San Martin both inside the zone. Soniqs now pushed to the edge, fighting it out with Forged. And it looks like here at that attention, should be able to close this fight out. H-Win holding off a very outside angle in that fight, and we'll see how it does come through. In the meantime, STK rotates, trying to take this opportunity right behind OJ, but OJ stopping to realize SLR in hand, looking to find some damage onto STK as well.
This is like what we saw with Marango. This is ensured destruction. If these teams don't get their way in towards zone, they'll find themselves potentially closed out, as teams will be hearing the gunshots, and it won't take much to hold out a push from this west-hand side. I just want to try bouncing about the map, so I will apologise, but there is a lot happening in different styles of the zone. We've got a lot fighting on that sort of west-hand side that we just saw. We are now seeing this fight here from our Forge and Soniqs on the southeast, give or take, as they want to come in. And obviously then on that east-hand side, we are finding our split play, trying to find their way in. LBR, they've been looking over San Martin. They keep coming back to the east. That's the right play, though, CC. They want to stop any kind of momentum shift from these teams coming in from the east. And TG have lost 2. And they are now on the full defense now, as they have more than 1 team coming in their way.
I tell you, apologize to TG. I had called him 76 just the way that I was looking for him. But yeah, TG getting into it. It looks like now going to throw the nade right where it needs to go. Perfectly tossed. Daddy puts it right under the egg to hatch right there. GG's. Swift play, but I say again, you called it. This is what they needed to do. Have, I think, done exactly what they need to. But unfortunately, the gunfights, the gun skills, and the third party now from Soniqs are going to take them down here in 15th. It's just 14 teams remaining going into phase 3. As we have another OJ member inside the vehicle. He's going to try to pull off away, maybe find this solo member of Friendly Fire, as they heard the shots actually starting to pull away from the fight here. So Friendly Fire gets the top side of the hill. We'll have to eventually walk into the blue here, or excuse me, out of the blue. But it looks like for now, we'll control both parts of this eastern side of the zone and still look to move forward from here. A nice little bowl play there from OJ.
Yeah, it was about time. Obviously, STK got caught. Friendly Fire came on the outside to try and stop both these teams coming in. Looks like they've agreed to disagree and they've pushed away. But yeah, again, Cam down low numbers for multiple games so far, having to lay low. LG now taking that high ground that we see from an EU point that is our win or die team. They like to play from up here as well. Yeah. Already moved in towards San Martin, and San Martin is not a bad player. As I said earlier on, I do see a lot coming back down towards San Martin. It's definitely one to watch for the main stage because there's been a lot of zones in and around on the outside. We are seeing the flares go up, and HP and LG, they'll be happy here, but they now just see, that's what I said, just on the outside, it shifts again back towards this west-hand side. That there's going to be a bit of ensured destruction for a few teams, but 4 dudes in a hot tub, they held out. Oh jeepers, and oh jeepers, they send out now in 14th place. A lot of teams now on the east-hand side, they've got to start migrating west. They do have a bit of space though, CT, to come into. Have to wait and see.
It's a very dangerous shift, though. That is probably the most detrimental. Power grid, sure, it's in there, but you're going to have a few full sends to try to take control of that power grid. You're also going to have a few holds. The hillside on the bottom side of the road, the south side of that road. Very good dips, very good plays. You could have 3 teams sitting inside that one little strip of road right there. So we're going to see who takes first, and there it is. Actually, it's 76. Making their way directly into that zone. Maybe going to go a little bit too far, actually stopping on the other side of the road. LG, again, makes their way in as well. Fights their way across, and yeah, it looks like he's just going to play the shack for now. Buying 76 a few more points. Unfortunately, leaving the car there in the middle of the road kind of begs the question of, is there somebody in the shack?
Yeah, TT, we're going to hold that shack quite nicely. Let's I do want to keep looking at the map there, but our Tigers, they hold out. Elevate did push into power grid. That would be a hold. They get a blessing now. Soniqs, though, hold out that southeast side, as our Liberty, though, can completely sweep their way through. There's not much to play. There's these nice little dips and crevices, but if a team gets the ability, though, to have a bit of freedom of movement above them, finally util comes a bit raining in, and this is where we are seeing more and more teams get used to using the auto fire, the mortar destruction, as there goes 1, 2, M249 becoming such an acceptable gun now. He's got 2 more kills on the board, and EF, they got to lay down low, but they've laid down low, they've taken a bit too far, 1 HP, and it's only a matter of time before we see the Soniqs util or the heavy aggress person. It looks like to be a bit of a heavy aggress push. Flash comes out, so they are ready to stack up, but then NAE goes straight in, pinpoint actually to the end of it. Yeah, see you later.
Geez, that's them down and out. Back to now 11 teams. Circle ready to pop here. 45 seconds to phase 5. And again, anything like this last phase shift, it's going to be dangerous. Kickstart looking to be dangerous as well. Lion prone. Now he's actually on the retreat here. Snakers provides a little bit of help there from the top there. Able to find now the second knock on HP. 1 member left alive. It's Big Tony. Lying in wait here just a little bit lower than the rest of the hill. And again, lying is exactly that, waiting for this team to come. He's prone. He's positioned. But unfortunately, LG does not want to take the bait, and they're going to wait there on the other side of the mountain.
It's worth noting, it doesn't have another player. They're on the outside edge and still fighting in that San Martin. As I said, we do see it end around the outside of San Martin. So if you're in that San Martin, just keep in the fact of your mind that it might just play on the outside. And looks like HP, they extended 3 out the 4 out. They got caught by LG already on that hillside. They need to work their way down slightly after that, but still 2-2 split might benefit. I kind of feel like Big Tony has a bit of a big jump now to go back onto the other side of the zone. LG, the moment they come over, they can see him. They're all going to be looking back this way and forward. Sneaky coming out of the blue, and Ploob refusing to go down, he says, but there goes the zone, claimed by Ford and claimed out as he would take a little bit of a seat on the outside edge.
Ploob, I was hoping for you to make it in there, man. That's unfortunate, though. The blue zone is going to take another casualty. There with that zone shift, you can see LG now crossing and having to cross the road. There is no hanging out on the other side. Daddy has made his way across there for his squad. Inside the top 8 now after the Shack plays. He's able to gain some placement points out of that rotation, and sometimes that's the most important thing to note is when that happens. And there's Plube getting credit for his kill for Forge, as there was no chance for Rez there. That's now one more in the bag from the grave. Love to see those. And sometimes I wish there was a way that PUBG would mention that happened from the grave, just because those kills always seem to be that much more rewarding. Oh. And there it is, Daddy in the Shack. GG's.
Those guys down as the 4 dudes in the hot tub getting the peekaboo as he jumps up and over, trying to farm the information exactly where their car gone. Big Tony now laying low as LG taking the extension. If you remember, if he was at that rock, he might have been caught there. But they should stop here and hold the ridge, and they've seen the car. They haven't got the kill.
This is dangerous right here, Mark.
They can't drop the ball on this one though, right, mate?
No, I mean you got to know something. Actually, they're moving up. They're actually being very, very aggressive here, and I like that. So they may actually get above the hill, but again, getting too far up is going to give away the cover that you have here, still sitting on the bottom side. So I don't think they're going to throw it away here, but you know we've seen crazier things, yeah.
LG though, they've got to take this ridge. They're doing the right thing. They're playing this ridge across here. So as long as they take this top side, they'll be okay. Friendly fire though,
ooh, there it
picking
is.
up kills. But they're gonna now sandwich 4 dudes in a hot tub towards Friendly Fire. Friendly Fire gonna push back the other way, and then the decision happens. Does Friendly Fire take on LG? Does LG take on Friendly Fire? But do they kind of agree to disagree and depend on the next zone, see where it goes? Because both these teams could really do some damage here for 4 dudes as they get the next ridge over. But as you see the wider angle now, if the zone shifts back up towards our Tigers, might want to just agree just to get rid of 4 dudes and then move in a little bit later for zone.
Well said, well said. But it looks like LG did finish up the kill there on HP. Big Tony in the meantime. Knock did come through on his Snickers, but automatically their teammate was there. Good headshot there from Paige, trying to get the knock. Unfortunately, he's able to tuck back a little turtleneck right there. He's able to maintain, it looks like what looks to be a little bit of life left, but again, look at the shots, the discipline coming out from Paige, not to let him come out of the Shack there. Sees even the finger and decides to pop a few shots. One more head, he comes through the blue zone. All it's got to do is touch. And that's going to be a GG. 45 seconds till he's forced to move. His Paige firing on all angles. The Shack turns the attention over to LG. And then let's double check up top too to make sure nobody's coming this way. Dude, making their way in. It's the 4 dudes in a hot tub now in the middle of LG and Friendly Fire here. And again, could easily find shots on disengaged members, but it looks like so far so much. It's Friendly Fire looking right in the center, looking right at who they need to, and they're not going to make this easy for the dudes to get out of here.
No, but the 4 dudes now find themselves in the outside of the zone. Kind of. They do have an anchor player though, as although he's sitting here taking the shots out of the Shack. Good for him though. He's not being shot from the LG team. He's doing enough really to hold Friendly Fire. The longer he stays alive means the longer and the likelihood is going to run away from Friendly Fire to get in. The zone shifts back towards LG. We spoke about LG going against Friendly Fire, and this style of zone is not going to be helping Friendly Fire. They've either got to push forward. I think they've left it too long for me. Disengage, play back in towards zone. But either way now, they've left it very, very long, and it's a matter of time before they go down. I feel they've got a very hard fight now.
That was the best chance for him to take there, was to find the knock, at least to do some help for his team. Does a great job, at least distracting. Gets Barker a flush pulled out enough for LG to actually get the knock and then the flush. So even if they don't get credit for the kill, dude doing his job, and he's at least able to take the attention away from his team. Gets the knock, changes the numbers up a little bit here. Now the full set coming in from the little Chupacabra. Not only shots from the backside of dudes, it's M762, the Tiger Barrels coming in to get some damage now from the top. They've made their way out of power grid to get involved in these fights, and I think the timing couldn't have been more perfect. If they waited any further for this fight, would be a little bit too disengaged and wouldn't have as much information in this fight as possible. And however, they do still leave one member anchoring inside of power grid here. And right now, the comms, the IGL coming out from M762 is phenomenal to put them in this place. However, they're going to knock. Snaker's going to find Honey Badger. Honey Badger's just not having a great day today. I mean, he's done some amazing things. He's a great player, but caught out there again by Snakers. And now we're going to have to turn the attention back in the field here as we're at top 3 teams there as we lose Friendly Fire there. A hard spot for them to go out, Mark. And now it's just our remaining 3. Sonic, LG, and then the Tiger Barrels.
Very, very strong end. 4 teams all up there contending. Soniqs, though, very much not involved in this fight here as the zone really shifting to LG's favour, focusing the attention. As I say again, I feel like Friendly Fire just left. They didn't make a decision either to go towards LG or play away, and not making the decision sometimes also the results in potentially a downfall here. Soniqs, though, they've got 3 up. LG got 3 up as well as his own. Did play back for LG. They got a bit of luck from the PUBG gods there, as it did come back to their neck of the woods. And if we have a quick look at the map picture, though, they do find themselves sitting on the outside. Tickleton, though, taking shots, though. The 2 remaining here from our Dragon Tiger Barrel showdown. They had the numbers. They had the potential to lose, to win this. But now they find themselves down as a 2-man.
Again, playing on a power grid. I think it was the right call here, but again, just getting caught out by some unfortunate situations. Player here, player there. Oh. And there goes another one. Tiggleton reads it out right over the top there. He's going to take out Greg Shot. And then that's going to be another one down. Soniqs looking for their 3rd victory here with 3 members left up. 1 ahead of them to take down for the Dragon Tiger Barrels. And it looks like that is going to come easier than expected. Shrimsy in a 1v1 here with LG, and it looks like this nade cooked up not in the right place, allowing the flank to come through. The nade does some damage, but using the car for some sort of coverage, it's going to provide at least enough to avoid the knock. That one's going to be right underneath the car. A nice toss coming out there from Soniqs. Now 1 member left for LG, 1 member left for the Dragon Tiger Barrels, and it looks like both coming to an end here. 10 kills for LG, so they've had themselves a great game. 4 for Snakers there. He could potentially at least find 1 knock, 1 flush. And that's about the best you can hope from the Soniqs when they're playing at this level.
It's always disappointing when you see the 2 solos go at it. You kind of want the 2 solos just to play out this one. But at the moment, we're looking like another Soniqs, though, as they are pushing their way forward. A little bit of distance, though, as the Dragons could maybe lay down the fire, but hasn't got the zone and might be extinguished out quite quickly. Tickleton, though, he does have that south side, though, as we do see the double push, though, 3v1 at the end. And like we saw before, Soniqs able to gather information quite quickly and then able to execute based upon that. So 3v1, expect a very aggressive now stance. Tickleton goes on the top side with mine on the bottom side here. Nade in.
The pan up.
Goes out. Wasn't it? Nade, the pan roll was short. He goes down, but the zone takes him at the end. Winner, chicken dinner. Soniqs, though, put a 22-point game. That is the 3rd one, though. The bad.
I mean, when you're talking about a 2-day event, 3 victories on the first day, Mark, I mean, that is a stamp, to say the least, right there. I mean, hey, you can't knock them, but you got to try. This is what needs to happen. Soniqs need to go down. Somebody needs to get these guys off their momentum.
Can't knock them. You can't join them because they are leading their way. Yeah, again, apologies. Obviously, while we're on camera, apologies to everyone for the technical issue. Simple. I think it is a memory thing with PUBG. Not quite sure. I hate update days. We were able to get in, but we got back in unfortunately when it came down to the end. So we opted not to put it live, just for consistency. So we are going to take a very quick break, as we will go look at a few things why it did crash out, but more importantly, we will reload the lobby, though. It is game number 6, unfortunately, though, our final game of this first day of a 2-day event. See you guys in a second.
Who told you? Who told you? Who told you?
Hey guys,
Welcome.
welcome back. I'm going to take you through the flight path because we've got an east down towards the southwest. Because CC, you're going to talk us about the leaderboard.
Okay, so to get us a little bit of rundown and catch up for the leaderboard as the plane path makes its way from the east to the west, we've got Soniqs, of course, sitting in first there. You know, nothing so short of surprise there. Again, with 3 victories tonight, sitting on 46 kills, but it's LG so close behind them, sitting at 44 kills, 67 total points coming out there for LG. And again, they're only 10 points behind with Soniqs winning 3 matches here. That's pretty amazing to me, Busted, to them to be that close off of again, not having nothing but 1 chicken dinner there to Soniqs 3. So in third, following LG, and second is going to be Friendly Fire with a very consistent day, to say the least. They're sitting on 56 points, 19 placement points, but 37 kills, just a little bit shorter there. And then we start to see a difference in kills here once we get down to the 4th place position. Dragon Tiger Barrel Showdown sitting at 39 points, but this is when we start to see around about the 20 range of kills here. So 23 kills there for Dragon Tiger Barrels. HP, the high persistent squad, now sitting at, it looks to be 35 points there, and that's 15 kills on board there. And then that's the roundabout, the top 5. To get us to the top 8, we got Elevated in 6th, 69 in 7th, and Shoot to Kill there in 8th. Liberate rounding out right there at a 9th. There is OGpers as well, both sitting at 21 points, looking to find themselves into that top 8. But again, top 3 positions right now: Soniqs, LG, and Friendly Fire.
It's a tough, obviously. Soniqs, though, have been the ones that have been driving this, should we say, so far. Loving chat. They're gonna, hello, there's a mortar coming in. Mortar goes on the top because we have to jump off. That is a close mortar. And pretty much pinpoint accurate, should I say, as well. So yeah, good first 5 games, right? Let's pop that in there first, right? That means that we've had a good start. It's worth noting that you can also follow along with the leaderboard at any time that you want by typing !leaderboard or Twire in chat. That will give you the scores as we are talking about them and seeing them. Plus, they if you pay for it as well, you get the ability to go back. You get to draw, look at the rotations, and get all the little circles on the map, etc. So definitely great. It's all powered by Twire.gg, an amazing site. Playing path done. Zone more tempting towards the islands, not going to lie, but a team that has climbed the leaderboard in that last game only, really, is Cam. But yet again, they seem to have this rift against our OJ team. And when we see the Navy SEALs come back out for a 2nd time in a row.
And we just may see that line, that dangerous line that just looked ever so unstoppable. And again, there were some dangerous moments in there, but they played it out right, literally neck and neck there, backpack to backpack, Basa, and they took down Cam the first time here. A little bit of an unfortunate drop there when they we tried to see some big plays coming out from one of the LG members there to take down 2 in the vehicle, but this time around all 4 with the 1 up top. I like it that they've put 1 player up top there on Monty to then scout out. That's one of my favorite plays when players drop Monty, is when they put that scout up top, because again, you can feed information to players. You don't really get left out, and that 1 player just tends to have everything that you need. He knows where all of the members for Cam is. He knows that they're not going to be able to just push without getting noticed, and this is just a great play coming out from OJ.
Yeah, OJ. farming information. They won't get the 4-man stack up and play again. They will be able to, as CC's mentioned, farm information all the way. Seems like day one though, Soniqs, despite not really being, I was going to say in the kill feed a lot, or especially the caster's view for a lot, because a lot did happen. Definitely a team that's kind of stealing day number one a little bit here, CC.
Hands down. About so with that zone popping, we've got water in play again, and I'm looking to keep that water hopefully right where it needs to be and keep it at 50-50 again, keep that water in play. I like the water to stay until like phase 4. It really does challenge these teams to pick rotations and change the spots that they decide to play here. So we'll see how that works out. Elevate, though, in a great spot again here in the start of the zone there. Coming off Picado, coming off some dangerous, difficult rotations there in the last match. Looking that they've got a little bit more of a comforting spot in this last match of the day here. So to see them go out on a high note wouldn't be the worst thing in the world here. As again, Elevate sitting in 6th place, only 30 total points here, but we're looking to pull this team up to get them hopefully at a higher end at the day, maybe in that 40-50 range to put them in a little bit higher of the paying brackets of players. And Mark, do you have a second? Do you know the payout and the breakdown that is going to be in this tournament?
I do, yes. So it's 320 on the total. As I said, obviously, if anyone wants to put the money in and also be a bit of a community support for this, let me know. I will back it as well and help out. But the payouts, though, as follow: $100 will be for prize number 1, place number 1. Second will be 70, third will be 40, and then fourth will pick up 30. But what I do like what they've decided to do, from 5th down to 8th, they get $20, aka their placement fee back or entry back into next week event. So I do like that. We're going all the way down from top 8 basically placements, so being able to get some money back in their pocket.
Now that's a lovely feel, because again, you hate to show up and go home empty-handed every time. You've got some top-heavy teams that are always inside the top 5, so rounding out the top 8, having a good day to get yourself some money, feeling good about getting that money, and just realizing, hey, I'm going to put this $20 right back into the tournament next week. So it feels good again to know that this isn't all about just maintaining the money, but it's giving it something out of scrims that has a little bit more value and a little bit more worth to play, especially when PGS2 and all these other major events are so close in pretension. Like I said, this is just one of those opportunities that I like to see these teams taking advantage of.
This is. I think they've just called it in chat, right? You can't get better unless you play against the best. I couldn't agree with that statement like 100%, 110% on that one, right? But I also will add to what you're saying, because you mentioned scrims, you mentioned this. Obviously, scrims in this is slightly different. People do play slightly different in scrims. Scrims are for practice for big events, right? This is not a big event, yes, so that contradicts what I'm about to say, but this is up for money, so people do play differently. But this is still practice in the mind of some of the players. And actually, do you know what? Having a practice where the money's on the line gets you in the right mindset. When you get to the big stages in the competitions, you should naturally be playing how you want to get yourself in the big bucks. And this is what the big teams do to get in that momentum, get that practice underneath their belt to make sure that when they go to the main stage, mate, it's no different than just playing the game that they love, which is PUBG.
And it feels good when you find the right team, the right people to do it with. I mean, I've seen some players who have been playing since this game came out together, and the comms, the cohesiveness, like you said, even with Soniqs, the calm, collective comms, to just be able to talk to one another about, say, with high intensity situations, but with such ease. And there's levels of doing it, because like the little increments of your voice from raising from this to the excitement that we get, it has a huge difference in the comms. So, if I'm telling you, hey, I've got a 300-meter rock by, say, pushing right here, it's a whole different factor of of how they change it. Again, I'd like to see how maybe their volume and their take is on it. But a lot of the times it isn't the same as 100 meters to the 300 meters of just the tone in your voice. And a lot of that comes to playing with the players and playing with, respectively, not only in rank, not only in regular games, but again, inside these competitions where you're bettering and bettering and bettering yourself to then just change results in competitions, which, again, we haven't seen any real consistency. I mean, Soniqs, again, always going to show up and dominate, but, I mean, there's still chances that other teams can show up in a competition that's global and still showcase themselves and win, So it's just very, very entertaining. A lot of intensity, a lot of action, and just PUBG after 6 years still keeping us on our toes.
Yeah, I like the constantly changing. I like now they're starting to add new stuff as well. Some will say it's a little bit too late. I don't think it is. Like, I think PUBG is going to go through this number transition where it will start to pick up a big bit of growth again. And because there is no other game like that, let's be honest. There's no other game that has begun mechanics like this. And with them adding new content, this I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. And I think a part of that is because we've had the same content for so long. I really like that we've added a new map. I want to see more of it. I know it's a question I do always ask the community, like, what do you think the next map should be? Do you think it should be a Vikendi? Do you think it should be a Destiny? I feel like it depends on the region. I get different answers on that. So I do like they are making changes. I do like they're keeping the players on the toes. But what I really like is with the change, these players and the higher IQs that they've got, they show us some outstanding plays and a great level of creativity that we wouldn't normally see.
Challenging. What are we seeing with these two teams still sitting in Monte Nuevo? Like this is something I've been questioning. Like I thought maybe the map was loading, but you've been back a couple times now, and both these teams still inside the blue. And are we having a picnic? Is it a party? That I want an invitation? I mean, I'm a cold crew, you know. Like I like the blue,
didn't they? They got a knock, which was the one up high, and looks like our cam team are going aggressive. It seems to be their strat is go aggressive off the drop, or don't play at all. It seems to be theirs now. It's only worked out a couple of times for them. They have gone out a few times early, but look, they're consistent at what they do, which I like it. So they are now chasing down our OJ team now, who are backing away from this on a bike.
This is just absolutely entertaining for the last match here. Trying to come up, slumps them down the hill right there. The Slick looks to get some damage back as well here. It looks like just a lot of damage. 2 players, 3 players now down, all 3 members of OJ inside the blue. And again, Cam's feeling good about the payback. They've got to be feeling celebrating, but is that how much more worth is that going to come out of this zone? You're celebrating because you took the team out that put you in the position that you're in, but I think at this point, 6 games in, Bassi, those 4 kills aren't going to be too much of a difference here. However, has to feel good for the revenge factor there, Mark.
I always like looking at people that do take the higher ground or high-ish ground. Not quite all the way to the top here so far, because if they are running low on ammo, it can be a bit dangerous. We see a little bit of a kill on those rotations, 69 go down. The team has been quite consistent for me. If I was to look at the leaderboard without knowing anything before, obviously having my limited knowledge with NAE, 69, obviously I know I've seen some of the names, but I wouldn't be putting them in the position they are. They've been consistencies at getting into the top spot, and that top spot equals points. If you can't get all the kills like you want to, getting the placement points and obviously work on the kills, that they kind of naturally come, don't they? So 69 playing well so far.
I mean, especially going up, they've had 2 rounds where they've been in the top 4 with Soniqs, and that's been who they've been competing with here. So, you know, to go up head-to-head fights, I mean, even if they're not winning the fight, so you're learning a lot, you're taking a lot from that fight, and being able to apply it into the next one as you watch STK try to make their way away from quite a few different teams there. 69 and HP tear apart STK. That's them down and out early. As we'll see them joining us back here for tomorrow on day number 2, the final day of the event. So make sure you guys tune in to see how STK fares out for tomorrow.
35, a team that has done very, very well. We did see Corsac leave them, which is disappointing, but they seem to be ready for the big stage.
It seems to be some nice prep work.
Deal with the nades though, do come over. Forge are forging their way forward. Ward does hold the top zone. Worth mentioning, this is a great guy. He does run the American PUBG League, and another great community member. There's loads of you actually out in chat already. Key individuals that are driving PUBG content and community. So huge chat to you guys. You guys are the unsung heroes sometimes, and yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. That's what I'm gonna say. Keep doing what you're doing.
Big facts, Basse. War, Basse, a huge part. Even when I hopped in to cast in the PC, Basse hopped in, just to see how things were going, offered a little bit of advice here and there, Basse. So yeah, great community membership. This PUBG community, coming from where it's came, you know, you've seen Call of Duty communities, you've seen Halo communities. This PUBG community is something of its own here, Basse. It's amazing to be a part of, and I'm just happy to be involved in a lot of these games here, especially doing it with one of my day ones here now, who, you know, again, it's been quite some time, but Mark, man, 6 games in, Basse, we're still killing it, man. Basse, happy to be here with you, brother.
I love that, you know, I love casting, man. What we're about. So Zone shift back down towards that Impala area here. LG gonna essentially leave that junk zone area. They are just on the outside, but we see them now hold the outside edge like we saw last round. 4 dudes in a hot tub now working their way in as those guys. A slight split, but again, they do have a slight hold. 25, we just mentioned them. They've got a big decision to make, though, CC. They've got a 2-2 split. It looks like they are going to collapse that 2-2 and take the compass. I'm a bit worried, though. They are sitting very much on that east-hand side. And if it doesn't play back to that east, though, we might see a very heavy shift to the west. And with a heavy shift to the west means rotations and 13 teams, 44 players left alive. It's going to be a sea of colour. And it's about timing. It's a bit of a risk here. And I feel like the teams are rolling their dice of whether it's going to go east or west now.
It's the gamble that we take playing PUBG. It's the thing we love, the thing we hate. But when we get it right, man, does it feel good here. And to go for those shots on the buggy right there is gonna pay off for right now. I'm not sure why Soniqs decided to play here this early. They must know something that we don't about the shack here, hoping that it's gonna be in there. But that's a very dangerous spot for Soniqs to be playing here. 2 players in, 2 players out. But again, you've got that 2-2 split being held out there by them. And again, I think this may more or less be an information gainer to remain the last 2 members of Soniqs. If that mime does go down, at least the remaining 2 have somewhere to play after these 2 players do go down. Rather than sacrificing all 4, I think it's better to just do those 2 as the full send, scout some information, and then we'll go from there.
So our Tiger are moving their way in. LG getting picked apart between Elevate and them as Anyway, does kiss the outside edge of zone, but the rest of them do need to come in. It is only phase 3, so you expect the players to get in quite clean. They are now trying to fire as Soniqs. I see in the little heads peekaboo over that side. But yeah, it's a bit of a 50-50 roll of dice. What I do know is we're going to have a little bit of a crazy action on this top side. Elevate understanding, though, they've got a bit of danger close to them. And Honey Badger and Cowboy go down. So shots will continue to rain fire back their way. Now, they do have a bit of a shining light above them. And they do get a knock back. And Elevate will need to make a decision if they want to continue to push. And sometimes staying back. Let the action happen. Whoa! Woo! As the car sends over on 2 wheels. I don't even know if they saw the players at the speed that they were traveling, but I can tell you they're not going for the res now, as our Tigers, our Dragons, our Beryl Showdowns, they're on the shift now, and the zone comes back east, so they will find themselves a nice little home, and they might hold out like Soniqs.
It's going to be my new thing for them. Dragons and Tigers and Barrels. Oh, my. Give them a good old reference there, about this. So that's Dragon, Tigers, Barrels. Oh my, that's the new call out when I see that team coming my way.
When the car comes flying over the camera and you duck it because it's 3 o'clock in the morning, you think you'd get smashed in the face by a car on the PUBG map. Love it, mate.
Thanks for waking up, Elite Boys. Boss, we needed him to be awake. You've done it. He's there. He's back in the action.
Mate, I can tell you this though, I'm going to be able to fall asleep. I'll be thinking too much about this. 1, about these games, but 2, I know my content creator will be instantly asking me, like, hey, what happened? I'll be like, where do I start? Let's start with the crash that happened. Let's follow from the crash from the car, from the drop zones, from the flicks and the gun controls from some of these players and the outside edges. He's got far too many YouTube shorts that are going to be going up for the next couple of days though, but I feel like I'm not going to get any sleep, mate.
Who needs it, bro? Who needs it? Buster, we're young enough, right? I mean, we ain't
overrated
yet.
Overrated. But like this grenade, it will bounce. It does get caught slightly as it does timber into the sat. Doesn't do a bit of damage, but the zone will be the one that will do the damage, though. If they don't get in the buggy and get out of there, they won't be able to get the res. They've got to get themselves in zone.
Oh, the nade. Oh, I thought Lemon Squeezy was looking for an easy breezy. He was. Takes the nade, tosses it up. It's a little bit too short. Debating on going for the res. They've left 1, so there's 1 in the buggy. The other is still there. Not sure why. Didn't spot him out. And then Lemon Squeezy turns to find the second. Liberate is going to go down right there. Lemon Squeezy and the TG squad able to hang tight right there. And, the 76 squad able to hang tight right there. Love to see it. As again, they've been quite quiet. In the earlier kills, we do see them, 1 or 2 players coming alive at the end game here. But it's good to see them 3 players up going into our top 8 here in phase 4. Looking to see if maybe they're going to be able to do some more from this position as there's Soniqs doing the ever old so fashioned car bridge right there. Excuse me, car, what do you want to call it, barrier right there. And they've got everything stacked basically in their favor. Now all 4 members inside the zone and continuing to play this zone outright. Soniqs really, really not only, continue to exploit their gunplay, but continue to show you that, again, they understand the zones, where to play and how to play. And that's just something that, again, some teams, you know, have or don't have. Soniqs has it all full rounded, and that's why we've seen them now sitting at the top of the leaderboard with 3 independent chicken dinners.
Looks like no cap sees the little tippy toes of our HB team as the edge and the zone has been tinkering around the outside of this team as well. They are trying to find out where they want to go next, and using a bit of height advantage to ensure they get as much information as possible. Lord, apologies, yeah, that one camera, 2 casters. We can't catch all the action. We do try as best we can, mate, but apologies. Yes, we did miss an STK for squad fight, but they're unfortunately now out. 9 teams though remain with 29 players. It makes it a little bit easier for us to keep an eye on the action, but when a zone shift happens like that, as we did say, it could recall back to the west hand side. It does make it to your argument earlier. What do Soniqs know that the rest of us don't? And it seems to be the end zone placement.
And they've got it. They're understanding it here. They're literally playing it to the advantage. Nobody else would think to just play the middle of that field, to crash that shack. And if you did, Soniqs would be right behind you, knocking on your door, moving you out anyways. But that is a play that Soniqs can do, can easily hold out and continue to stack that knowledge right there. So let's see if it does play out for the late game, as we still have 9 teams, so 8 ahead of them here. So their game is not secured. It is, however, comfortable for the time being, but we're going to have to see where the remainder of these teams end up as Phase 5 starts to close.
There's a hard shift now for these teams in the east because they've got to play very aggressive to get over towards the west-hand side. And teams like this, like Friendly Fire, got to make a decision. Do they take the cars, even if they're in rags, to get moving and get positioned in, or do they go up to the high ground? I feel like the call would be come into the train that they got the cover, play through the dips and crevices. They've got a couple of teams that are trying to hold them out. Kind of the logical push. A car in the middle of the field for me. A bit too late in the game for that one, so I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe an aggressive push here. And if Friendly Fire know it's LG up on the hill, that for me might be a green light for them now to start moving. Well, I definitely know now because they got the knock on TG and TG got the knock on LG, so expect our FF to roll up, and they are coming steaming in. That's the right play for them, but they are getting backfield straight away here from Forged.
I think they did a great job reading it out here and taking the opportunity to come up in this fight. Win is needed here. If Zabra can get this knock with the nade, he's going to open the door to run right behind the rest of Friendly Fire. But however, it's a little bit too overcooked, a little bit too far gone. That's not going to find it. Shots now coming through. No cap spots about. In return, Boom's going to get knocked. Sharp shot with the trade, and Zabra then finds Sharp shot. It's a trade for trade for trade. Going down now left for Page. Page cleans up. No cap cleaning up one more for Friendly Fire, as Friendly Fire still has potential to get both their reses. It's left to just one player for Forge. This nade could clean it all, and it's bounced once. And unfortunately, the rocks stopped that thing from moving any further. A nice toss, but unfortunately not going to do the damage. Now on the reset here.
Unfortunate for them today. Really unfortunate for them not getting the nade in. I'm a little bit better though, CC. A little bit closer, but the sand's really sucking up the roll of the grenades.
Every time, yeah, it's bouncing. It looks hopeful, but it's just not making it as far as they had anticipated. This is giving Forged every opportunity to then get both the reses here. Friendly Fire using this to get this res. It's going to be so close, and it is. He's stuck it. Both players barely inside the zone there. He is going to get that, and now they can turn the attention back to 4GD. Forge, Floob, it's down to Zabrin. Over the top comes Choop, and Chupacabra eats him up. Zabrin down and out there. All 4 Forged members will get eliminated there. Down to 6 teams here. Just 5 more inside the zone. It's actually only 1 team really inside the zone, and that's the Dragon Tiger Barrels, as well as Elevate up top. Soniqs, of course, sitting in the middle, but you've got 69 on the outer edge. You've got Friendly Fire there hanging on the east side, as well as it looks to be our bottom HP boys here looking to clean up and get into that southern zone. However, it's Soniqs controlling majority of that zone, and the other top side is Elevate. So it's really not a whole lot of opportunities for both HP and Friendly Fire to get into this next zone.
Very hard shift. Sonic seems to be getting it right again. The zone continuing to work their way back to their neck of the woods. And hopefully I now have the right to that crash. I'm just going to restart the bot to make sure the right link is coming in, but I do have it on my quick feed. I don't think we're going to have enough time for the right link to go up further though. HP They are also taking a third-party action now against friendly fire, but they now get themselves in the zone. Keen to obviously have a look though, because it is about time. And friendly fire though are opting to make the shift towards zones. We do look at that map now as they are near enough getting themselves in, but they've got another ridge now to take over. So both these teams kind of stopping. I think they know they've got to take the fight, but there's only 6 teams up. It's a quick game here. Our phase number 6. There are only 17 players up, so CC. So we are losing numbers quite quickly as every team's really been bleeding. There isn't many full teams left.
Couple of damaged, bruised, beaten teams here. Never going to count them out or discount them out. However, the challenge is that much more engaging for them in order to get into these next fights. M762, the Dragon Tiger Barrel Showdowns, are just sitting inside the compound and waiting. Once this fight concludes, maybe able to get it. Yep, there they go. They're starting to get to the backside. They've done a lot of damage to friendly fire. 18 takes advantage. Finds the first stock, looking to get the second. As Chupa trying to just drive away, is going to be able to maybe make his way away from friendly fire. But again, a very difficult rotation to get inside the zone. Has nothing left as far as the growth. The bridge will provide some sort of cover. But from the back, 69 from the side, I should say, actually going to get credit for that kill with Soniqs already on the push right there. Friendly fire down and out there. HP looking to reset, denying the kills to say the least there. Is he going to make it in? That jammer pack saved his life. Normally, we wouldn't have seen that coming. Jammer pack to the safe and give HP a chance to get not only one of the reses, but a chance for the second. But however, already waiting and ready. Dragon Tiger one looks to find the second over the top. He's got him. Greg shot GG, sends him to the grave, sends it to an early lobby visit right there. And great read coming out from these 2 members of Dragon Tiger Barrel Showdown.
Top 4, 69 is Dev back up here again. This team is consistent at being in the top 4 placement though. Danger. Though our Dragon Tiger Barrel Showdowns, they've only got 2 kills. They are just tinkering on the outside of Edge though. Elevate, they have held the high ground and we like to see them on an elevation above the rest. And Soniqs yet again bribing the PUBG gods because the zone plays back to them. Maybe Elevate's in a little bit, but realistically here CC, Soniqs are the ones that are now holding the zone. They're on the lower side. I'd expect to see Elevate, our Dragons and our 69ers all fight for the high ground before pushing down. It's kind of human nature to try and believe that the high ground is going to take the win for you. But sometimes with these style of zones, maybe the additional numbers will help as we've got a 3v3, v2v2.
Back down. 26 minutes on the clock there. We may see a full 30 on the clock the way these teams are playing. However, Elevate could easily come off to the side on 69 right there. That angle of the ridge right there, providing enough cover, whether they're going to give it to Shrimsy and the rest of the Soniqs, or they're going to give that shot to Elevate there. Once they have to move up for this phase 7 into phase 8, it's going to start to open up this fight, whether it be between the Soniqs or Elevate. We'll have to wait for time to tell here, but those are the 2 opportunities here. Is you've got the Dragon Tiger Barrel Showdown squad just hanging out inside the shack, using the cover. Nobody really has an opportunity to push them. But I think they're playing this out exactly how they should there, buying out the time. However, that was almost an unfortunate knock there onto Kawaii, but Kawaii will get back in time to get the first aid off, and then should be able to traverse his way into that cover. Do you take the fight with Soniqs, or do you take the fight with Elevate here, Mark?
Looks like these guys disagree with whatever they're saying, because one's gone one way, one's gone the other way. And one was on the top side, and one was on the south side, and the comms clearly not right. Gregory goes up for the high ground. Is he the one that's now surviving himself out? And we do find our Dragon Tiger Barrel Showdown. Looks like the Dragon and the Tiger agree with whatever the call was that time. Gregory is down, but he's out of area. He's going to get picked up though. Soniqs though finished them up in 4th place, but he gets a worldie of a nade. Simboy should be able to get those back up though. And the final player here from 69 is just trying to tinker his way around. Sonic have lost 2, so it's a 1v3v1 as the high ground has now favoured those who survive, which could potentially win. There we go. It's a winner chicken dinner. By the time I click back on it and go to try and get to the team, elevate themselves into a nice 19-point chicken dinner there.
Well played there from Elevate, sitting at the top, reading it out. But even though Soniqs had control of that zone the entire time, themselves into the zone, it's still, at the end of the day, Elevate who sneaks in, takes that top side, shows the advantage of, again, being over the top, getting all the information. They've seen everybody as they came their way and waste no time in capitalizing for that victory there, Mark.
Very, very, very strong victory And good games. Apologies though, we did miss the one that LG got the win. So if you're an LG fan, I apologise from the bottom of my heart. I don't like technical. For those that know me, I hate technical faults at the even the little ones. What we will though have a quick look though at that leaderboard. Team which is consistently getting their way in. Leaderboard though, as it stands, as I do clock that I was on mute. Soniqs though are the ones that are leading the way. Placement points and kills are making it up. Don't forget, guys, as I was just double checking, this doesn't include game number 6. Game number 6 is due to come up here, but we are going to be rocking our way towards a best of evening. Well, this evening, actually, tomorrow, because technically it is this
Technically
evening
this
for
evening
me
for you.
because it's 3 a.m. So I'll be back in a couple of hours' time, finding it out. Definitely worth noting, as I was just double checking the leaderboard and working things out. Sonic, as I said, they've got this great balance CC placement, kills, combination is working well. Seems like they're dialed in, especially with a Tago map as they put a free chicken dinners on the board. Half of our games this evening went to Sonics.
Yeah, absolutely crazy, man. Busta, just to see, these teams playing again, the consistency of these guys, as well as Friendly Fire, to not take anything from them. Because, I mean, we've seen them consistent. 69, again, a team that I think we're both kind of getting familiar with ourselves. Really, really showed me, I think, that they're not afraid to take fights with bigger teams. They know how to make their way into the end game. And it's teams like that that really start to shake up, these PGS events that you have no idea who they are, but they make a name for themselves. So I'm interested to see how they're going to affect these qualifiers coming soon as well.
Yeah, look, Friendly Fire done well, Elevate well, LG well, Sonics well, and then obviously the swing bats as well. We saw some great plays even from teams. I would say even from teams like Forge. Forge are a well-known brand now, anyway. So Forge playing their way through. Everyone really taking something. The only thing I'm a little bit worried about, and if they continue into tomorrow, is our OJs and our Cam teams trying to battle off the bat, because tomorrow we have got best of 6, our final 6. We are now at the halfway point, but we are starting with Mirror Mask tomorrow. We only have 2 of them, but we did see both these teams dropping consistently and finding each other out. There's a little bit of a blood feud, and if they continue that going and they keep throwing one either side, because it wasn't consistent for one team winning that one, that might result in them not getting themselves in that prize pool. Anyway, that's enough from us. Now we're going to take a wonderful break, though, as we will be bringing up the stream same time tomorrow, same place. I will send over all the clips and stuff to our video editing team to get as much as we can out between day number 1 and day number 2. We will put it on our priority focus. I put it on top of his list for him to wake up to look back at the stream. If you haven't already, give us some love though on YouTube. I'll make sure there is a link in chat though. It's an old channel, but we're looking at it now, so I'm classifying it as a new channel. We're going to dedicate it just to sort of PUBG esports. I've got a video coming in about these zones. I've got a video coming in about PUBG Plus and what does that mean as a new player. And I want to get some insights. I want to do interviews with players, but I want to get insights from players and add them together for some relevant content for you, the viewer, for PUBG. So if you haven't already, give us some love over on there. It'd be much appreciated. We'd love to grow that channel and provide good content. Again, give us feedback. This was one of the feedbacks we got from you as the community was, we want more from you, Mark. Get us more content, and I am streaming a lot so I can get the content out to you via that YouTube platform. So give us a follow on that one. It is completely free. And that's it for me and CC though. We'll see you guys again tomorrow, same time, same place. But thank you very much for tuning in, and apologies again for those little hiccups. I'll see you tomorrow.